What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out the channel. Now, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get the episode rolling.
Are you like a long distance runner? No, I'm a fighter. How the fuck do you turn up that much? I just keep telling myself. I remember sprinting up a hill. Some guy was cutting his grass, and I'm screaming. I'm like, you want to be the champ? This guy's looking at me like, get the kids inside, huh? Get the fucking kids in the house. All right?
What's cooking, everybody? I am joined in the bunker today by my very good friend, Mr. Zach the Kid Dubnoff. Dubs is a pro boxer in the middleweight division with a career record of 4-1 and a wild backstory to go along with it. I am not going to get into it right now because I want him to tell it. Zach is one of the best storytellers you will ever hear. He is hilarious, inspiring, motivational, brutally honest, blunt, deep, and look, he tells you the good and the bad, and his life has had a lot of ups and downs to it. So to get him in here to do it on camera in front of the mics was a beautiful thing. And I'm not just saying this. This guy's always been an open book, but I don't think he's ever been more of an open book with me than what he was today with the cameras rolling. That was an amazing, amazing thing. So I think everyone can take a lot out of this episode. And we also even got into some history around boxing. This guy is a true student of the game. He knows every single era and every single fighter. He gave his thoughts around the whole Logan and Jake Paul thing too, which was interesting coming from a pro boxer. So this conversation had a lot in it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm glad I got to have my homie in here. One quick note, with about 16 minutes left, you will hear a lawnmower fire up. It was Friday. We started recording about an hour late. Every Friday at 4, next door, the industrial lawnmower comes, and it's very, very loud enough to get picked up on the mics. I did not want to stop because Zach was going to have to leave, and also he was getting into a very serious story, so I had to let it keep rolling. You will hear that lawnmower for 11 or 12 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes of the podcast are clean. But I think within a minute or two of it coming on, you're not going to notice it because what Zach was saying was, I was riveted, so I stopped noticing it myself. But I apologize for the inconvenience, and other than that, enjoy the episode. Now, if you haven't used the link in my description, along with the code TRENDIFIER at checkout to get your 8 Sleep Pod Pro mattress or 8 Sleep Pod Pro cover, check it out. I always focus on the cover because it's what I use. It's half the price. It comes in queen or king sizes and does all the same things as the mattress. And what that is 8 Sleep has a proprietary app that ties into the cover and measures your scientific sleep stages throughout the night. So it will adjust your REM, your body temperature, and a whole bunch of other stuff so that when you wake up in the morning, you will feel like you slept 8 hours, even if the clock says you only slept 6. So use that link in my description, along with the code TRENDIFIER, that's TRENDIFIER, at checkout, and you will get $100 off your order of either the full-blown mattress or the mattress cover. And especially to all the pro boxers out there listening who are buddies with Dubs, I mean, this goes for everyone, but especially to athletes who are always looking for recovery hacks. This is a game changer. So go check that out. Use that link in my description along with the code TRENDIFIER at checkout, and you will get $100 off. You won't regret it. Anyway, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, and leave a like and comment on the video if you would, please. To everyone who has been sharing the podcast with a friend each week, it's unreal. My DMs and my inboxes are filled with people who either found the podcast through TikTok or found it through a friend just like that. So that word of mouth marketing is working. Thank you to everyone who's done it. And to those of you who haven't, if you have friends who listen to podcasts and haven't heard of this one, send them your favorite episode. Send them the most recent one maybe. And let's see if we can get them in the audience. And once again, I really, really appreciate all you guys doing that. You guys are unreal. So thank you for helping make this happen. That said, you know what it is. I'm Julian Dorey, and this is TRENDIFIER. Let's go! This is one of the great questions in our culture. Where is the nuance? You're giving opinions and calling them facts. You feel me? Everyone understands this, but few seem to do it. If you don't like the status quo, start asking questions. Bro, you look good. You look fucking good. I was pumped up looking at your Instagram a few days ago.
I appreciate that.
Dude, how long have you been in training now?
Probably back at the gym like 5 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah.
Doesn't take long for you.
No. Muscle memory.
100%. But still, like, as far as the training goes, I mean, you always did the 2 and 3 days and stuff when you were in peak form. And
Absolutely. To
jump right back into that like you have, that's not normal, man.
I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
Well, you're not normal.
I don't know the right answer to that. So I told my coach, I was like, yeah, we're going to, we'll come back in easy. Yeah. He's going. Yeah. And then it was literally one training session. And then the next time I was there, it was like balls to the wall. Like, it was fucking psycho.
Dude.
I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm ready. Let's go.
You only have one speed. Like, that's the thing about you. Yeah. You only have, like, let's go.
Yeah, I'm on go.
But how long were you not training for?
I mean, I guess the whole 15 months, 14 months. Wow. So I fought my last fight February of 19, and I came out of the gym for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. And then I went back into the gym. We were planning the first, I was starting this promotion company, Ready for War Promotions. And then the pandemic was hitting. And I had my second son, Bronx. And the pandemic was hitting, and I was working hand in hand with my boy Cornflake, who has his promotion company, and he was helping me get mine off the ground. And we were planning this fight close to home where I'm from. And I called him, I'll never forget. I called him and I said, yo, Flake, I think we got to make a decision. We either got to cancel the show right now because it's 6 weeks out.
When was this? Like
April. So the show was supposed to be April. The show was supposed to be April. And this was right before the pandemic, before they shut the world down. So it's March 2019.
Early, so like March 5th, March 10th,
something
like
in that range, yeah. And I remember calling Flake. I actually remember I was on the phone. I started calling all the fighters because all the fighters, I remember one of the fighters was contacting me because my mother-in-law was very involved with the promotion end of the thing. She was going to help us out with it. She's very business-minded. Tara was involved. Everybody was involved. And I remember saying, like, the fighters are calling me. They need tickets. They want to start selling tickets. I got managers calling me, and I called Cornflake, and I was like, dude, we got to make a decision, like, now. And I said to him, as soon as that was it, the NBA called their season.
March 11th,
so
that Wednesday.
That's what it was. Damn. March 11th, they called the season. And I called Cornflake. I said, it's a wrap. There's no way, there was no fucking way in hell that the National Basketball Association was stopping play and Larry Hazard was letting us box in the state of New Jersey, bro. You can't get this guy to react quick on anything, let alone, the New Jersey Boxing Commission.
Is he the head of the commission?
Yeah, he's been forever. I mean, great guy, runs a solid commission, but they're just not exactly the quickest.
Sure.
So once the NBA canceled, I called Flake. I'm like, that's a wrap. I started calling the fighters, canceling everything, and then fast forward, here I am.
That was a surreal moment, man. I will never forget where I was when I saw that tweet from Adam Silver. Or it wasn't from Adam Silver. It was from one of the reporters saying Adam Silver confirms the league. And then you see Mark Cuban courtside, like freaking. Remember that?
Yeah, for Dallas. Yeah, he blew it back. I mean, I think for me, what was surreal, I don't remember the game, but they canceled an NCAA. That NCAA, it wasn't the Final Four yet.
It was the Big East tournament and all the tournaments.
Was it the Big East or the ACC tournament that the first one that they canceled, they actually brought the players on the court?
I think it was at MSG.
It might have been. That might have been the Big East. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I was invited to that, and my one buddy was there. He's like, "Yo, bro, you should have come." And I'm like, "Dude, this is gonna get canceled." He's like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Yes, it is." And then boom, they're all off the court. I think they played one full game, and then there's like on that Thursday every year, which is like the Big East tournament. It's not as good as it used to be because a lot of the teams are gone, but it's an incredible experience if anyone ever been. But that Thursday, there's always 4 games because it's the final 8 in the tournament. And I think, I could be getting my games mixed up, but I think it was they played the first game, and then the second game they brought them to the floor and then sent them back to their hotel room.
I thought that was crazy because, I mean, like, I don't know. I kind of downplay it, but I guess I am a professional athlete.
You are. What do you mean you guess you are?
I don't know. I always downplay that. Maybe sometimes I feel like fighting's different. I don't know. Anyways, but to be an athlete at that level and to be ramped up and come out. So my last fight, there was a problem with the ambulance. They couldn't get the ambulance squad on site.
I remember that.
Right.
We were waiting for like 4 hours for that fight to start.
Man. Forever. I'm in the back. I warmed up. I warmed down. I warmed up. I warmed down. Finally, I don't know if it was Marty Schuler. Somebody came in the back. It's off. What?
They told you the fight was off?
The fight was off. Gloves were on. I'm 3 rounds deep in pad work, ready to go out. I'm like...
This is in Atlantic City in February 2020.
I'm taped up, gloved up, laced up, ready to go.
They didn't tell any... That place was packed.
No.
There were thousands of people in there. They didn't tell any of us that.
Taped up, gloved up, ready to go. And they come in the back, they say it's a wrap. Man, you got to be kidding me. What the fuck? Like, to be brought all the way up, then brought all the way down, then brought all the way up again, just for them to say, it's over. It's over. Got $15,000 worth of ticket holders out there. What do you mean it's over? Like, I started feeling some type of way, and then I remember Cornflakes, like, whoa, hold up. And Cornflakes plugged in. And he got an ambulance there, like.
Cornflake got the ambulance in.
Yes, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if anybody's supposed to know that or not. Thomas Cornflake LaManna got the ambulance there. And we ended up fighting, and then went 4 rounds, and we took it home. That was that.
See, that was... The timing of the pandemic was bad for everyone. There's no such thing as good timing. This was this unprecedented thing and all that. But the timing for you in particularly was horrific to me.
Yeah. Because,
and I want to get into your backstory today because you've always inspired me so much, and it's crazy to see what you've done. But that fight right there, that was your takeoff fight. Because the fight that you were 4-1 after that, you won that one easily. You just went the distance with him. Great traditional boxing, nothing crazy. But I say that because your 4th fight was among the amateur circuit and the pro circuit. It was the worst fight I ever saw you fight.
Right.
And it wasn't close. But it was the one that I respected the most.
Resilience.
You were resilient as fuck. And your punches that night, and I've never seen this from you, but your punches that night, that was like October 2019, I think.
Yeah, it was.
That was out in PA, right?
October,
yeah. Your punches that night were like 4 to 6 inches off. I've never seen that from you.
Right.
But to see you get tuned up in the 1st and 2nd round, because I could see like you're frustrated, and then you're dropping your hands a little bit. He hits you hard a few times. You see this guy's face as you get through the rounds, just like, how the fuck is this guy still standing? Yeah. Now, I know you were very down after that fight because it's like, holy shit.
Of course, yeah. You take the L. Yeah, I mean, you're a mess. You know what I mean?
But you bounce back.
Have to.
You came back in and put on a clinic, and I'm like, oh, this is the story setting up.
Yeah.
Because like now it's February, we're going to get a good fight in like April and then one in July. And it's like, oh, well, we get through a couple here. We get 6-1. We're going to get a big one.
Yeah. No, I mean, it definitely landed at a bad time for me. I felt like I now had, at that point, 5 pro fights under my belt with O. I say O, I mean my trainer, Amon Elliott. It was just totally different transitioning. Like, I didn't have a lot of amateurs. We all know that. But I was it was like a completely different style of training, what I did with Lou Esa, to when we went to Trenton, got my federal ID card, turned pro. And he goes, stop here on the way home. I go, where are we going? You're going to meet your new trainer. Okay.
Lou says this, Steve.
Yeah, we're going to meet your new trainer. I said, all right, you got your headgear? I said, yeah. He goes, good. We're sparring with a 10-time national champion.
Tell people who Lou Esa is, because that's such a loose story.
So Lou Esa, I was always back and forth with boxing. My dad's best friend, I called him Uncle Kenny. It was so weird. I never knew growing up what he did, but now that I'm 32 years old, about to be 33, now I understand what he did, but I always just thought he was like this Jewish wise guy that ran with another Jewish wise guy that promoted black fighters. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? Anyway, so my dad's best friend growing up. I called him Uncle Kenny Ratner, who, if he's watching this one day, find me, please, because I don't know where you are. But he did IT work for Marc Roberts. And Marc Roberts was a promoter who's like a big-time building owner now in Florida. He was the promoter.
Wait, 11 Marc Roberts? He owns 11 in Miami?
Yes.
His son is Justin?
Yes. Justin
Fuck
Roberts,
out of here,
bro.
dude.
Yes.
Dude, that's Servino's boy.
I know.
He's like close with him.
Bro, because I seen Chaz put something up about Justin Roberts. I'm like, I click on this kid and I'm like, because like I'm not like a good Instagrammer, like we all know that, you know what I mean? So
You're better than you give yourself credit for.
I click on this Justin Roberts cat. I'm like, who's this guy trying to be a rapper, right? Isn't he a rapper or something like that? He's got he's got crazy followers. He's a big deal.
I think he was a Team 10 guy. I don't know if he's considering himself a rapper or an artist. It all kind of flows together these days.
He's a influencer, let's call
Yes.
him. All right. So I'm clicking on this kid, whatever, and I see a picture. Boom. Marc Roberts. I'm like, this guy is got hella money. Like, I'm like, so this is what he really is. Like, is he a developer? Is he in real? He's just got money. He's just smart. He's just an investor, so on and so forth. So he promoted fighters back in the day, and he promoted. Now I could be wrong, and I'm going national by saying this, but I was always told that he promoted what they called the triple threat: Ray Mercer, Shannon Briggs, Charles Murray.
No shit.
I got pictures with all three. I used to bop around in the ring. My Uncle Kenny would take me. I would, like, over the summertime, I wouldn't go to work with my dad or go to day camp. Both my parents would be working. I come from a working family. And I went with Uncle Kenny. He'd take you down to the gym. I think we were like East Orange, Newark, somewhere down there. I remember jumping in the ring with Ray Mercer. I'm like, this is awesome.
How old are you?
What's up? At that time, fuck. Had to be before I was 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like all a blur until I was like in high school, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's all of us.
Yeah. So, I mean, boxing was always thick in my life, but like I was a football player. You know what I mean? That's where I'll never forget, like my football coach, head, hearts, guts together. You know what I mean? So that's where my resilience and my guts come from. But I feel like I missed my calling at a young age for boxing. Like I wish I go back to the high school. I just spoke to my high school football coach recently about going back and talking to the kids and just telling them to, you know, be all in at that young age. I wish I was all in at that young age, not fucking up. You know what I mean? That's really my message to everybody. I don't care win, lose, or draw. Never fucking quit. Don't tell me I can't. That's my biggest problem. You turning pro? What are you, crazy? Yeah. You're going to get fucked up. Watch me.
Dude,
that's me right there.
I will never forget when you said that you were going to do that to me for the first time. I didn't really know you at the time. This was like you were training with Con, and I just seen you in Whippany working. And we started talking one day, like after a workout, and you dead ass were like, you know, I think I'm going to go pro with this. It was like in the middle of a conversation, and I'm looking at you. Now, mind you, you had been training with Con maybe 3 or 4 times total at that point.
At that point.
And you hadn't really boxed, like, at all. So you're, like, learning the movements. I could tell you're athletic as fuck, but I'm like, oh, this like 29-year-old guy is gonna go pro in boxing. That's interesting. Yeah. But there was a thought that went in my head when you said it that I was like, all right, that's not gonna happen. But the way he said that was interesting.
Yeah,
like it was very. You had a level of almost. You were like at effect to it. You're like, yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, my wife and I had been in a bad place, and I said, I'm gonna go to the boxing gym. And that's when it came full circle. So I started training at a couple different places. I landed over here, I landed over there, and then I landed on my feet at Whippany Athletic Club, right? Mm-hmm. And Lou Esa was there. The famous Lou Esa. So Lou is an amazing guy. He'll give you the shirt off his back, right? And he took me, we ran through some amateur fights, whatever, this and that. So Lou's background is it's no secret. Wise guy. 15 years in the joint, pro fighter.
Not just any pro fighter.
Tried out for the Miami Dolphins, made the team, blew out his knee, living down in Miami, goes to Fifth Street Gym, knocks the bag off the rack. The rest is history.
And he trained with Angelo Dundee.
He trained with Dundee, Fifth Street Gym. You know, Ali was his idol. That's why he went there. I know he definitely got some he definitely had sparring in with Ali and stuff like that. Well, he's got some great stories. You got to get him down here.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to, because like people, we're saying this right now. I'm going to put a picture of Lou in the corner over here on the screen. So if people are watching, they can see.
Yeah.
Lou he's a giant.
Yeah,
he is a giant. He has had an interesting life. And one of his things was that when he was first signed by Dundee or whatever to train with him is an expertise he had was that he could do a pretty good job mimicking fight styles, meaning like he wasn't going to go 1,000 miles an hour fighting like Joe Frazier, but he could do it well. Right. So he would spar with some of these guys. Like he would spar with Ali, and I'll bring him on the podcast and let him tell the full story. Definitely. But he would spar with Ali, and one of the times like I think he literally had to be Frazier, and then there was another. Maybe he had to be Foreman another time, and that would be the go-to for Ali before Lou was contending. And I think he was like the number 8 heavyweight in the world at one point.
Lou,
yeah.
I mean, he might have been. One of my favorite stories about Lou, since you're on it, about him sparring with Ali and stuff like that, it was actually a great lesson for me. So like the toughest transition from. And I'm actually doing it right now too, like because I just sparred the other day. I thought I was going to spar today before I came here, but we ended up just working out, which was an awesome workout. New Legends Boxing Gym, right here, awesome.
Yeah,
place.
It's like right down the road.
It was an awesome place. Slowing the fight down. In the pros, you got to slow the fight down. It takes 2, 3, 4 rounds to get to know somebody. You don't need to come out there, fucking balls to the wall and just start going ape shit, throwing these novice punches. Like, catch, fire, and uppercut. You know what I mean? Like, catch a punch, return a punch. Stay long, stay on the jab, stuff like that. But Lou started telling me the story when he's trying to tell me, like, slow down, relax, sit on your punches, and slow down your shadow boxing now. We're not doing that anymore. We're moving on to this now. And he started telling me, he goes, you know, kid, I was fucking sparring Ali one time. And I went out there the first round. Pow, pow. I'm nailing him with the jab. Pow. And he's going to me. I come back to the corner. And I don't know if it was Dundee. I don't think it was Dundee because Dundee would have been in the corner with Ali. Mm-hmm. There was somebody else. Who was the doctor? This is going to fucking kill me, Jewel.
You keep talking. I'll Google it.
It's going to kill me. So somebody else was in the corner with Lou, and he's wiping him down and giving him the water. The old school Lou Esa thing too, what he does for you, sitting down on the stool with the towel on his.
Freddie Pacheco.
There you go. Yeah. So Freddie's going to him. He's going, "Oh, you look good, Lou. You look good, Lou." And Lou comes out for round 2. Pow, sticking the jab, quick, 1, 2, bop, bop, shift. He's hitting Ali like he's putting in work. Now you got guys starting to crowd the ring.
This is the story, by the way.
Now guys are starting to crowd the ring. Comes out for the 3rd round. Lou's like, yo, I'm fucking feeling like a monster. You know what I mean? He goes to shoot the jab. Ali, whoop, bam, 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 bam. He goes, Zach, he hit me 20 fucking times. Zach. Yeah, exactly. So he's like, so that's when I realized. You gotta slow it down. So it was like that was like a major learning curve for me. So that's a little bit on Lou Esa. And we left Trenton when you asked me. We left Trenton. I got my federal ID card, and I said, he goes, put this address in your phone. I said, all right, we put the address in my phone. I go, where are we going? You're going to meet your new trainer. Okay. Do I get to interview him? Am I your fucking manager? You gonna fucking listen to me, or what are you gonna fucking do? All right. Now
he was still training you though at the time.
I mean, yeah, like it was supposed to be like this joint venture. You know what I mean? And like we'll get into that, but I love Lou. He's like a father to me. You know what I mean? So we put the address, and I said, "May I ask who the trainer is? Like, do I know this guy?" He goes, "Yeah, the black guy who tapes your hands." I go, "Oh, all right, cool." So now, like, I'm starting to feel some type of way. You know what I mean? Like, I feel good about doing this. So we get there. It's South Jersey somewhere. It was probably like 40 minutes from Trenton, 50 minutes from Trenton, and we get there. It was Rocky 3, bro. It was the white kid. It was Rocky walking into Apollo's gym. I got all these black guys staring at me. I got this killer in the ring looking at me, like thinking some type of way, like this kid just turned pro. I'm about to spar with Horse. Nah, this time I'm like, who am I sparring? He goes, his name's Horse. I'm like, who the fuck is Horse? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck is Horse? Like, now I'm starting to think, like, oh, man, they call him Horse for some reason. He obviously packs a punch, you know what I mean? Like, great, I'm fucked. So, and that was it. We go in, shake hands, shake out, and like right away, the bond that I had with I get in the ring, I'm bopping around, moving around, I start shadow boxing. He came right to the ropes and he started coaching me like that. Slow down. Don't throw no punches. Move your feet. Dance. Just like Rocky and Apollo, bro. Rocky was this, never moved his head, right? Just kind of like a Tyson bobbing side to side and just throwing these punches. And was like, nah, we got to dance. And it was like a surreal moment for me. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm really doing this. And like you just said, like, if I convince myself that we're going to do this, like, I'm on go. Period.
That was what, like October maybe? 2018? Something like that?
So I debuted in December.
Yeah, that was your first pro fight.
Yeah, in VA. Yeah, so that was December, right?
That was an
before
execution.
Holidays. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess it was October. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had a 7-week camp with for my first pro fight. And he's like, all right, let's go.
Because the timeline was absurd.
Yeah.
You were starting to train like with Con, just like getting your feet under you. Because I guess it was like you were coming back to it if you had ever even tried it before, but hadn't done much of it at all.
Right.
And then that was towards the back part, like the last few months of 2017. And then spring 2018, like winter into spring, I started to notice, because you and I would train together, that you were like, your projection was going up. And I was like, holy shit.
Just
like,
finding it again.
Yeah. I had been boxing for a while, like training.
Right.
But, I'm looking at you and I'm like, holy shit. Like I can't get in the ring with this guy now. I remember that moment where I was like, oh, that would not end well for me. But your first amateur fight wasn't even until June. And you were just like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And you go on this, I guess, like 3.5 month tour where you go through, you did like 4 or 5 fights, and then boom, I'm going pro, and you debut in December. So to put this all in perspective, you were 29 years old when you started boxing, like for real. You were almost competitively. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You were almost 30 years old when you got into the ring for the first time.
Right.
And then you turn pro when you're 30.
Yeah.
And so I'm always looking at the narrative of stuff because I think it's cool. And also like...
Turn pro 29, right?
That was...
I don't know. I'm so hard with fucking dates, bro.
When are you born? September?
Age is just a number to me.
It is just a number to you.
Fuck that shit,
That's the narrative, though.
Fuck that shit.
Because no one else would do this. No one else would do this.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck it. With kids and everything, too, like, I'm going to do it. And you did. And I started to see it come together because I'm like, God damn. Like, he just ran train for 3 months there. Now he's going to go pro already. This guy said to me less than a year ago, I'm going to go pro, and here he is. It's like sitting back just as like a fan. You're like, this is some real life Rocky shit.
Yeah. I get that frequently. Yeah. I mean, that's why I tattooed it on myself. Like, I mean, just fear what? Fear another man? Like, what's the word? When you get knocked the fuck down, get up and go back at it. Like, that's why you were touching on my 4th pro fight, and it was definitely the most important fight of my career, hands down. I feel like everything just started to elevate at that point, like you were saying. Like, take a punch, like, it's like, bang, right in the back of the ear. Like, first 10 seconds of the fight, because I don't really want to get into that because that's something personal about, like, the whole business end of boxing. Like, I just want everyone to know, boxing sucks. The business side of boxing is complete and utter disgusting diarrhea.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody thinks like, oh, you're a pro fighter? Like you're fucking Floyd Mayweather. There's one Floyd Mayweather. There's one Tank Davis. Like for every $1 million fighter, there's a million non-million-dollar fighters. And that keeps that fucking sport together. Like, I remember Vito Melnicki's pro debut. The place was empty. Shakur Stevenson was the main event. Empty after Vito fought. Empty. So it's like everybody puts all their money and all their ducks in a row for these top 10 world-class fighters. Well, guess what? If it wasn't for the other guys putting the work in and making the rest of the event and funding the rest of the fucking event, then what do you really have? You just got two guys that want to go in the ring and fight each other for $3 million apiece.
Yeah, and the business side of it is so sketchy because it's that back. It's so old school. It's that backroom deal, and everyone's got their hand in the pot.
How you doing? Yeah, come go see my That's how it is. So the business end of that deal was shit. I went to the hotel.
This is the
with
fight,
horse.
October 2019.
Yeah, yeah. I sold. It was a little far away. I still did 8,000 in ticket sales. I didn't get a fucking dime. A dime. Different story. First fight cost me money. Second fight cost me money. Third fight, I made some money. Brought everybody down to the showboat. Put on a clinic. Fourth fight, we're elevating. Sponsors all down my trunks. Like, let's go.
That was Showtime too.
It was a Showtime event. I mean, we weren't on Showtime or anything of that nature, but it was a big deal. I'm like, I gotta put on a show here. I got fucking there. Somebody was in the front row. Like, you don't know who's watching you at that point. I remember Cornflake bought Paulie Malignaggi in the back room, shook my hand. Hey, good luck out there, champ. And I go out there and I fucking fight flat-footed. Like my feet were in the mud and like I just couldn't get going. Couldn't get warmed up. Like I wasn't in it because my mind wasn't there. The skill is one thing. That sport, I say it, people might think I'm wrong. It's fucking 80% mental, bro.
Oh, I believe that.
If you ain't in that fight, it's over. They put me in there with a guy I should have beat the snot out of him. Period. Cornflake keeps joking around me. Next fight we're gonna fight Oren again, please. And he thinks I'm kidding. Like please. Like that's a chapter in my life that I still need to close. Like I just skipped reading the rest of it, but I have to close that fucking chapter. And so my mind just wasn't there in that fight. But to touch on the fight, first 15 seconds, I walked out. It was like a sub-novice amateur fight. Bang! Right in the back of the ear. Mm-hmm. I remember like just hearing screaming, hands up. Look, this kid beat the shit out of me, bro. I'm a fucking grown-ass man. I'll tell you straight up. He beat the shit out of me. However, I stopped him with a fucking body shot that was on the belt line.
You did. I'll never forget right after the fight.
Double jab, looping underhand to the belt line, and I put him down. He said I hit him in the crotch. He did what he's supposed to do.
I guess, but...
I tried to dig back. I tried to go back to the body in the bell ring. I came back out for the fourth round. I had a couple opportunities. Even Horse said it. I had a couple opportunities. Thought I was going to knock him the fuck out. I backed him up to the ropes, overhand right. I started landing punches. It was looking good. Ding, 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 ding. Fight's over.
You won the fourth round. You won the fourth round.
I believe so. Yeah.
I think you guys split the third and you lost the first two.
100%.
But
100%. It's just no excuse. I lost the fucking fight. Period. I don't care how many rounds I won. To me, I lost. That's all that stuck in my head.
You did. Yeah. You did.
The only positive thing that I took out of that fight was this. The guys that walked me out to the ring that night and all the fans that were there are the same people that walked me back into that locker room, put a towel around my neck and told me to go take a shower and keep my fucking head up. I remember coming back to the corner in the fourth round after the fight and I was just like shaking my head. I was all down. And O told me, he said, pick your fucking head up now. He told me, he said, we strap city. Pick your fucking head up now. So I did. And he thought there was a possibility maybe I'd get the draw or something like that. But you know what? Honestly, if I got the draw, I think I would have been even more mad. Now I don't have like my record on Instagram or anything like that. Like I don't do all that, right? But if there's something that drives me fucking crazy, if you have a draw on your record, you ain't undefeated, bro. You fucking fought to a draw.
I hate draws. I hate ties.
If you're 4-0-1 and you're putting your record on Instagram, guess what? You're not 4-0, bro. Mm-hmm. You are 4-0-1. Own that shit.
Yeah.
I am 4-1, and I own that loss because that loss made me into such a fucking different fighter. It elevated everything. I remember coming out the ring and seeing Lou. He grabbed me by the chin. I don't know what the fuck that thing's made of. But whatever it is, you need that, and that makes you a fighter. Let's go.
I don't say this lightly because people like to exaggerate with stuff like this, but I'm telling you, when you came back out from the locker room maybe like 35, 40 minutes after the fight.
Yeah. Like a fucking raccoon, bro.
Dude, already.
Yeah.
It looked like, and I've seen some guys get tuned up before. I've been in the gym with where guys take hits, but not like a live fight like that where I'm then right next to him right after. I've been at live fights. I don't see those people after. Yeah. I see you right next to me, and I'm like, his face looks like Rocky 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did. It was kind of scary to look at, but you had your head high out there, and, I can see the backstory of losing the focus on it. In fact, it makes sense because, like I said, you were off in a way I've never seen you off in my life. Like
mental.
including just like in the gym, just fucking around. Like I've never seen your punches off like that. But then once you're in the moment and you're like, all right, this is not going my way, but I'm here to make a point. You made the point. Because people were like, this motherfucker not only is still standing, he's still coming back out here 30, 40 minutes later, and he is owning it. Yeah. And to me, as I said a little earlier, that was the moment where I just kind of stepped back and I was like, something really special might happen here. Like something really special, because I don't like the people that go into stuff and say like, I love failing, or like I love losing. Like fuck that.
Ain't nobody like fucking losing,
that's
bro.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
If you could go 50 or 51-0 like Floyd Mayweather, you do it. You do it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying once you get in a moment and it's happened, there is an enormous motivating factor you can take from that. There is an enormous way in which you can look at that and make moments like that a new line in the sand, and make it a time where you're going to be like, okay, I've fallen down, and now I'm not getting up. I'm fucking jumping up. And we took a step back. We're going to take 10 steps forward.
Yeah.
And so I saw that starting to come together after that fight. So to me, as annoying as that is to you, and I like that it sticks in your craw. I like that you want to go finish business there, and you should.
Yeah.
It was a very important part of your journey, and we'll get to where you are today now with this. But I look at the narrative, and I'm like, that was a seminal moment.
It changed everything. Everything. Even I felt like the connection with my trainer. Like, I mean, he's like my big brother. Period. His daughter's like my little sister. His son, I mean, he's like my little brother. I mean, it's the bond became stronger. And it was like, we go back in the gym, it's like, we know what not to do now, okay? Did you get that out of your fucking way? And for me, my life wasn't perfect. My life's never been perfect. You know what I mean? When I'm thinking I'm going to do I sold drugs. I was a drug dealer. It's not a secret.
I've never talked with you about that.
Yeah,
I know about that, but I've never. I mean,
we're not gonna. That I don't want this to be about that, but it's just like just to touch on it. Like, I thought it was, I'm going to do this quick deal. I lie to my wife and be like, hey, listen, I left the garage open at a job I was doing. I go down there in basketball shorts and a white tee. I'm thinking, wham bam, thank you, man, wham bam. I'm in the fucking can, bro. Out $750,000 bail. My life has never been perfect. So why would I have a perfect boxing record? Because the man I am, who I am today, is because of the way I came up. So I needed to fail in order to go to the top. Because right now, I feel like I'm at the top. I feel great. This camp, I don't know what it is. Everybody always says that. Oh, this camp's great. This camp's great. This camp's great. 2 weeks in, I have my strength and conditioning coach telling me, whatever you're eating, whatever you're doing, whatever you're taking, keep fucking doing it. You're lifting heavier than you would in 6 weeks. You have more energy than you do in 6 weeks. Your repetitions is higher. You're faster. You're working faster. You're faster. You're stronger. So I'm elevating. I'm ready to go. I'm not. That loss meant everything to me. I'll give you a fun fact. You ready for this? Mm-hmm. As a pro fighter, I know I see I saw the gloves over there in the corner, right? I remember Kanye always used to say a lot of it was always like a touchy subject. A lot of guys would say, train in heavier gloves, it makes you stronger. Bullshit, yo. Training in heavier gloves is for one thing and one thing only, to protect your opponent when you're sparring. When you're hitting a bag, it's supposed to be like you're in a fight. You want the quickness, the speed, the feel. When you're doing pad work, you want fight gloves on. If I go to catch a punch right here with a glove that's a pillow, what good is that for me stepping in the ring with 10-ounce gloves on as a pro?
Yeah.
It's terrible. To this day, I train with the gloves that I wore in that 4th pro fight that I lost in. Because I never want to fucking feel that feeling again. Never. I wear those gloves for that purpose. It sticks with me. Oh, you want to lose? Hell no. Back to work. Bell rings. Another round. Let's go. That's where my mind's at.
Wasn't the only defeat you took, though. Like, it was the only defeat on paper.
Right.
But, like, the other thing here, and it's the 500-pound elephant in the room, is that when COVID hit, as we were talking about, like, that's when the takeoff was happening.
Right.
And
definitely
everything stopped.
Yeah.
And you had your kid, like, a week in, I think, something like that, to the pandemic.
325 at 325, March 25th.
Right. So I remember talking to you, I think this was, like, early last fall, because I hadn't talked to you. And to me, you were in a really bad place because obviously the whole world stopped. All sports stopped. At that point, the NBA had just picked up in a fucking gym in a bubble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You think any boxing fights are? No, they're
Absolutely
not.
not.
You know, there
Yeah.
were some of the main card guys fighting in an empty place.
Right.
But all these guys you talked about, the million who aren't $1 million producer, they're not getting fights. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And so the timing of everything stops. The impetus to want to train, like you need when you're training, you need the light at the end of the tunnel of opportunity. You can't just train to like train. You know, like it's one thing if you're doing it to work out and have fun with it. Correct. Like I do. But when you're
a fighter, you can't do that.
So like you're looking at this and you weren't training. You don't have an opportunity on the other end. You know, you're not getting younger in that way either. You started this later in your life and you worked so hard. You got to the point where you had that promotion company coming up and then that all like basically stops because
it exploded.
It explodes. Yeah. And I could hear in you that there was a massive level of not just dissatisfaction, but even like depression about it. I don't want to put the term on it, but I was concerned because I'm like, I watched this dude work like a dog for a couple of years there, where it was, you know, you put 5-6 years of work into 2 years. That's the only way to put it. Like around with the nutrition, everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and now his opportunity was right there, and this is just wrong. And so I was in my head a little worried. I'm like, is he not going to go back to it? Is he not going to go back to it? Like he's a pro boxer. He's got to go back to it.
Yeah.
And so when you called me, I guess like 8 weeks ago, and you're like, I'm fucking back. I was like, dude, I wanted to run through a wall.
Yeah,
I wanted to run through a fucking wall.
Yeah.
So that defeat of the time that goes by there, you know, you're working your job, you're doing your thing. You were like the guy who had the moment, and you're like, but then my moment got taken from me, and now it's like, nah, fuck that. We're gonna go take it again.
Absolutely. Too many people told me, you're done. You're done. What are you gonna fight? 200? Fuck you, bro. Haters gonna hate, bro. Haters gonna hate.
What'd you get up to weight-wise?
Like 195, probably 190. I'm walking around 175 right now, lean as a motherfucker. Shredded. 3 weeks into camp, shredded. I eat right, I drink right. Your water's right there. Like, stop drinking. I mean, I was doing that. You touched on like depression. Tara would say I was depressed and stuff. Like, oh, you need help. You got to get help. You got to get help. You know what? Yeah, I was drinking, doing everything, whatever. Fuck it. I was drinking, snorting, doing it all, bro. Going out, partying, doing what I'm not supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? For me, it was like, you hit it on the head. Like, just go to the gym, go for a run, do this. Why?
Yeah.
Why? If I can't give it 110% every single time and I don't have a purpose, why? It's not that I don't want to train. It's that if I'm going to train, I feel like I'm wasting my time and everybody else around me's time. You're going to train, well, guess what? Don't drink. Eat right. Get your body right. You want to train, be a monster. And like so many people, it just started digging at me, man. Like everybody, he ain't going back. He's done. Had a little bit of an issue too. I had to go see a head doctor. I was getting these wicked headaches in the back left corner of my head. Tons of football, tons of boxing. I'm like, I don't know what. I go see the doctor. It was just like, not that it was a waste of time. It's important. You got to take care of your head. And then just everybody kept saying, oh, you're no good. Your head's fucked up. You're going to be a tomato can. You can't do it. Don't fight. You're fat. You're drinking too much. Okay. Okay. That's just what I said. Okay. Sure. So.
Was there like a moment?
I'm going to turn up. Watch.
Was there a moment?
My wife and I are going through some stuff. You know, we're not going to get into all that, but, you know, not that it was her, not that it was, we're not going to, somebody told me the kid is dead. You know, somebody said the kid is dead. He's a has-been. Logo's tattooed on my thigh now. I look down at it all the time. He's alive and well. He's alive and well. I told you, bro, I don't give a fuck win, lose, or draw. I put 110%. I put my heart and soul into this sport all the time. Cornflake just said that shit walking into the gym, yo. So you take this shit way too seriously. I'm like, man, fuck you. You know what I mean? What are you drinking there? It's called some BCAAs, man. It helps me recover. I'm 33 fucking years old, all right? I'm hurting.
You don't feel 33 though.
I don't. I feel like I just said that to him, you know, in the ring, shadow boxing, getting ready to go. I went for a run. I was up 4 o'clock this morning. 20 after 4, I'm on the road, putting 4 miles in. Dude, there's something wrong with me. Like, I'm running, telling myself, like, I don't get tired. Let's go.
It's not something wrong with you. You have a very rare thing.
I wake my inner beast.
It's an inner beast, but it's different. There's not a lot of people. I haven't known many people in my life that have the mentality you do, but it is something, not that I've known other guys personally, I don't, but you see what you can see. It is something that some of the best fighters in the world have. It's this edge. And it's not just that they always have something to prove, which I think is an important thing, or that, you know, they always feel like they just have to do something. It's more like there's this ultimate fear of loss that they have to have in front of them. And let me put that in words, because that's a weird way to put it. But you think about it. When someone goes to get in a boxing ring or a UFC ring, any of them, you're risking your life every time, because they're the most dangerous sports out there. You are attacking another person's head. I mean, you're attacking other things, but you're attacking their head.
You could die in there.
Yes. And so you kind of wonder, like, all right, for a sport, like, you're going to do this? It's not just because it's the thrill of it. It's because there's something to it where it almost gives your life meaning, because you know, A, not many people that walk the face of this earth would ever do this.
Right.
And B, there's a respect in there, not just for you, but like when you go in there, even with an opponent you hate, the two of you may not admit it out loud. There is a mutual respect for the fact that, like, oh, he's doing the same thing I am.
100%.
You know, and it's like this. It's this very small fraternity. But I say all this because that edge. The reason I use the word edge. I'm trying to put this right into words, because I know what I want to say. It's just very hard to explain it. But I think when you look at like some
you get high.
Yes. And
you get high.
Some of these things you talk about, like, what did you replace it with? You replaced it with drinking and even drugs and stuff.
Miller Lights and cocaine.
Because there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And you need something.
Yeah,
and as a friend, I don't want to see you do that.
Yeah,
and I'm going to tell you that.
Of course.
But like, it's almost like that void. There's no person that can fill that void. There's no job that can fill that void. There's just the void.
Look, boxing, football, I mean, that's the way I relate it, because I was a football player and I'm a fighter, right? It's a fucking lifestyle. You only get what you put into it. That's all you get out of it, right? You want to be a fat fuck, eat wrong, train a little bit here and there. Say, hey, I'm going to take this fight. You're going to get knocked the fuck out, bro. You got to take it seriously. And if you don't, you ain't going to have no fans. Nobody's going to be behind you. And like I said it once, I'll say it again. It's not about winning. I want to prove to everybody, if you want it, you got to reach out and grab it. Nobody's putting that fucking bag at your feet. Nobody. Floyd worked for it. Canelo worked for it. Everybody works for it. You got to go get it. If I want it, I'm going to have it. Period. That's my mentality. With boxing, with life, you want it, you got to go get it.
Why did you want it at like 29? Why like out of nowhere? You know, again,
because I was
family.
fucking up. I need structure. I need structure in my life. I have like an addictive personality, right? Like Tara and I have been to hell and back. Look, I never been the greatest dad, the greatest husband, the great whatever. But boxing, the structure, the discipline, that's what was missing when I got out of high school. That's what was missing. You know? I turned into a street kid when all I had to do was stay focused. One of my greatest things that I loved it. I did it. We were doing it. I went and spoke with the high school football team where I played ball in high school. And my positions coach ended up becoming the head coach, Rick DeBonta.
Montville?
In Montville, yeah. And so when they reached, and my boy that I grew up with, Matt Testa, he's an assistant coach. And this kid, I remember like being 16, 17 years old at his house, and we like lose a football game. This kid be crying at his house. We all be sleeping over. Like, I go upstairs, he's in the sunroom, he's crying. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He's sitting there, he's crying. He's like, let's go do sprints, bro. He's fucking putting his helmet on and shoulder pads, and he's sprinting up a hill by his house. I'm like, yo, this kid is fucked. Like, what is wrong with this kid? Now, it just took me so long to develop. I know what he feels. I get it. So when they called me and be like, yo, come talk to the kids, I don't know who reached out to who, but next thing I know, my dad and my brother are like, we got to go to the high school and talk to these kids. And I just try and tell them and like convince them, like, it's not all about talent. It's not all about like, you know, if you're going to do it, just put everything you got into it. Don't get out of school at 2:30 in the afternoon. You got a football game 7 o'clock tonight and go eat 3 slices of pizza and sleep with your girlfriend. Focus, bro. That's what I was missing. Who knows where the fuck I would be right now? Can you imagine I put this energy in when I was younger? Like,
I think that's part of it, man.
it's about motivation. Like, you gotta like, but again, I was that guy. Like, that's why I can't give up now. I gotta go until I can't go no more. Because I need to prove to everybody and let everybody know age is a fucking number, period. If you want it, go get it. Don't tell me I can't, period. Do not tell me that I can't. Because if you tell me I can't, I'm gonna.
But even before you went to do it, no one was telling you you couldn't do boxing. You know what I mean?
No, they
like
just said you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, well, even I'm saying before they could even have the chance to say you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Before you said, like, I'm going to go do this or I'm thinking about doing this. You were just, you were going about your life and doing your thing. And it seems to me like a big part of it, like, yes, and I think a lot of us have this, there's proven things to other people. You want, you want to have that. I don't care who you are. Everyone wants to have some level of like that societal validation of like other people know, hey, I did this, or like, hey, I tried really hard at something and I got it. Like I earned it. And that's fine. But it's also, it looks to me like a lot of it was driven by the fact that you weren't in touch with that thing earlier on in your life. And because you weren't in touch with that, you fucked up. Right. And because you fucked up, you were looking at your life, you're coming up, you're on the quarter life crisis type deal, and you're like, what's my value? When it's all said and done, I don't mean to get too meta here, but this is just what I'm taking from it, so correct me if I'm wrong. When it's all said and done, how are people going to remember me? Am I going to be a fuck up, who's getting arrested for dumb shit? Or are my kids going to respect me when they're older? Or am I going to be somebody that goes out and tries something really fucking cool that very few people do, and that can be my great turnaround that then I can say, like, hey, whatever happened before that, like, I'll own that, but here I am.
Absolutely. You got to just go out and get it. Reach for it. You know what I mean? Even with work. I've probably worked more hours as an electrician at 33 than somebody that's retired has. 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for 15 years. Do the math. You know what I mean? If you worked 5 days a week for 8 hours And let's just call it 6, that I did 12 years for 10 hours, 12 hours. Come on. I'm tired. When I hear these kids tell me like, oh, I'm tired. What'd you do today? Oh, I got up at 11. I came to the gym. I got up at 4. I ran 4 miles, 5 miles, whatever it may be. I went to work all day. Now, if I don't go to the gym, I'm going to a side job. Like, stop being lazy. You got to work. You want all these nice things. Like, one day, I keep telling myself, one day, I'm going to catch my break. Whatever it may be. Hit the fucking lottery. Get this massive promotion. Get a phone call because Triple G wants to retire and they want me to fight him for $3 million. Whatever. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just keep telling myself, like, one day I will catch my break. But until then, you can't give up. You got to keep working, bro. Nobody's going to give you shit in this world. You got to keep pressing forward. Keep your foot on the gas. My foot's on the gas at all times, period. Well, for 15 months, I laid back. And I didn't like the person I become.
It's just kind of like, I guess a lot of it not by choice because of the fact that everything like stopped. But it's kind of like you fall into the habit of being that kid who was going upstairs and seeing your buddy crying and saying, let's run sprints, and being like, what the fuck? You know, like you almost lost what that means. And to hear you describe it as structure is like a very simple thing, but it's spot on because structure is different for everyone, but the way you mean it there is the most rigid form, which is that every hour of my day, just like, or the purpose of my day, maybe not hour by hour, but the purpose of my day and the things I'm going to do, I'm going to load them up. Because if I'm sitting around, you know, I can't sit still. That's what I wanted to say earlier. I couldn't say it. You got that thing, and a lot of the great fighters have this, where they can't sit still. Right. They're not good at like just sitting alone in a room and thinking about shit. You know, and none of us are good at that, to be clear. But I'm saying like that's where your worst inhibitions can come in, your worst like self-doubt moments, your worst mental struggles, whatever they are. And so when you are exerting yourself as well, it's not just like you're working a desk job or something. When you are exerting yourself out there and fucking training like a motherfucker, you don't have to have that. You don't have to have those moments. You are releasing that stress in this very rigid environment, but also for something that is really crazy when you think about it, like what you do. I walk into a ring and we punch each other. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not for everybody. I'll tell you that. And you could have the most talent in the world. You could be the most talented fucking boxer out there. And Tyson said it best. Everybody got to play until they get punched in the face. Mm-hmm. Everybody. How you react to your loss. How you react to getting hit. How you react to anything, right? What does Rocky say? Nothing's going to hit as hard as life. Nothing. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's boxing in a nutshell, bro. And what's that tell you? Boxing's about life. It's a lifestyle. It all comes full circle. And for me, the structure of boxing in my life, like, it just makes me do everything differently. I mean, it takes a lot of my time, you know. If there's one thing I could definitely get back from it, it would be time. However, I need it. Without it, I fuck up. It's
your drug.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely my drug, you know. People say I'm obsessed with my body. Not really, because if I was, I wouldn't box. I'd fucking be in a squat rack squatting 5 times a week, eating carb after carb to blow my legs up because I'm insecure about them. But I care about my body. Yeah, okay, pal. It's just what we do, this is what you look like. I don't know what to tell you. But like it just puts a mentality in your head. It's like it makes you a different person. Completely different person. Me especially. You know?
It's not something where, you know, like you raised the example of getting under the squat rack, and, you know, like I had Gavin Eden in here, who's one of the best power lifters in the world. And that's a crazy mentality you got to have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But when you're training to fight, it's very scientific and precise too, because you're training everything that could possibly be a vulnerability in preparation of something. Whereas training in other things, you're training for strength, you're training for stamina, you're training to like improve your first step or whatever it may be. In boxing, it's like, no, like, do I have a weakness on my left side? Am I as hard over there as I am on my right? Like, what? All right, now I'm fighting against a guy with a southpaw. What if he comes at me from the other side instead of this side? So I gotta make sure this shoulder's more ready to go. There is such a unique emphasis on it, and all the while, and you could say the same thing in a lot of ways about like wrestling and stuff like that.
Sure.
All the while, you also have to stay within a certain weight area and everything. Not that you don't have to do that in things like powerlifting, you do. But I'm saying, like, you fight, for example, at 160.
Right.
And you probably fight on fight night at like 169, 170, but you weigh in
like
at
178, 175.
Either way. But you weigh in at that, and you're all of 6'3" with an enormous wingspan. And when you do, you're fucking yoked. I mean, it doesn't scientifically make sense.
See, you're saying, like, you're touching how you got to change a weak part of your body or this and that. Like, for me, it's, you're not just training your body, you're training your mind. Mm-hmm. I don't need to run. I run for here. I run for my mind. I tell myself some fucked up shit. Like today, I'm telling myself, like, I got the headphones in, playing the music off the watch and just running and putting in work. And just telling myself, like, you don't get tired. Let's go. You don't get tired. I remember before my last fight, running by my parents' house, sprinting up a hill at the end of my run, turning like 640, 650 miles, putting in like 615s on my last mile, like unheard of. Like, what? Are you like a long distance runner? No, I'm a fighter. How the fuck do you turn up that much? I just keep telling myself. I remember sprinting up a hill. Some guy was cutting his grass, and I'm screaming. I'm like, you want to be the champ? This guy's looking at me like, get the kids inside, hon. Get the fucking kids in the house. All right? Like, how you doing? You know what I mean? But my strength and condition coach, he tells me such inspirational things. I mean, I got such a bond with him too, Coach Kev, Mean Nation. He tells me some wild shit, like most
what?
people. Like, you were touching about, like, training, right? Like, what we do is so different. Like, you go to the squat rack and squat, right? Mm-hmm. Do maybe 8, 10. We do 16 and get ripped body shots while we're doing it. Like, if that don't fuck with your head, like, what else does? This new kid came in the gym the other day. He started training with Kev. We trained the first time. He's probably, I think he probably went home and be like, yo, this white boy's fucking nuts. Like, what is wrong with this kid? He's screaming shit. Like, he's like screaming like, woo! Like I'm fucking Ric Flair in the gym. And everybody's just looking at me like I'm normal and shit. Like, yeah, that's my picture hanging on the wall. That's me over there. So this is who I am, and that's me right there. Like, this is what we do here, bro. You want to be in camp? Let's go. If not, there's the door. And he stuck with it, and he's with us. And he sees us the other day. Crazy workout. We had a crazy workout, crazy energy. We're in an ab machine. One guy holding down the foot part because we don't need that. We hold our legs straight out, doing 85 pounds, crunching down. But when I come up, bang, bang, 2 shots to the body from the coach. Telling you in your ear. I got him in my ear telling me we train to dominate. Famous slogan. Will be on from here on out, will be on every single one of my fight shirts. How you want to go home? That shit sticks in my head. That's what pushed me through it. I'll be running. How you want to go home, Zach? How you want to go home? I never want to fucking lose again. If I do, I know damn well the next guy after that, he's in trouble. When your body is physically exhausted, it's a scientifically proven fact. You still got 40% left in the tank. Every single day I go to the gym, whether it's Kev or it's O. Kev tells you this is 80% mental, 20% physical. Coach O, you're tired, you're dogging it on the bag, you're dogging it out. He tells you, find it. These little things just stick in my fucking head, bro. I'll be running and I just screaming out crazy shit, telling myself crazy shit. If you don't have that stuff in you where you can't wake that inner beast, then fighting is not for you. That's what told me. The talent, the skill, we can work on all that. Catch, left hook, right hand, uppercut, turn. We'll work on all that. That don't matter. Making your jab strong. The physicality part of it, that's the easy part. Cutting weight, easy part. Eating right, easy part. Stepping in the ring, getting punched in the face, taking a fucking beating. You can't teach that. You either got it in you or you don't. The first place is right here. It's either in you or it's not in you. And I'll tell you what, it's in me. And that's why these coaches believe in me. That's why Lou believed in me. That's why O believes in me. That's why Kev believes in me.
There's a massive touch of just affirmation on everything you do. Like everything. And it works the opposite way too.
Yeah.
And it works with motivation. You know, when people tell you can't, you feel that twice as hard as you do when people tell you good job. You know, and then it drives you. And so how do you drive yourself? You drive yourself by reminding yourself, oh, they said you can't. By telling yourself, you know what, you can't. Yes, you can. Fuck you. Do it. You know, that voice in your head is and it's in everything. It's a very real thing. But when you are grinding down your body and taking a beating, you know, when you're training, you're in camp for a fight, you are taking beatings and stuff. You better hope you don't get tuned up before the fight. But, you know, there's an element of that. You got to prepare yourself for it. And I know, and I've never had to do that, but I know there's a lot of moments in there during whatever number workout of the day it is where it's like you go far past that 40% point and you still have something left, but you don't think you do. And it is only going to, it's only going to be that voice that says, you know what, fuck you to the other voice.
There's no such thing as I can't. It's only I will. That's what it comes down to. Especially in a boxing gym, strength conditioning gym, putting the miles in. I mean, I only became faster and faster and faster running. And you got long legs. Man, fuck that. What the hell's that got to do with it, bro? Oh, so maybe at some point, like, okay, so I can run a 650. I can run a 640. Well, let's say you run a 10-minute mile. Why aren't you pushing yourself to run the next mile in 950? That mentality's in my fucking head. Just because it's not in your head, don't punish me and say I got long legs. Get in line with the rest of the haters, bro.
There's a lot of people out there.
100%. Haters gonna hate, bro.
No matter what you do.
Period.
No matter what you do.
Period. You'll see my next walkout song. Hopefully we got a date. I'm in camp right now. We ain't gonna shout it out yet, but we're just waiting on a commission. Everything else is in a straight line. Once the commission says we're good to go, the flyer will be out there. And
where's the fight?
Local.
Okay.
That's all you're getting.
All right. I'm good
local, and then if that falls through, there's something a few weeks after that we could be prepared for as a backup plan.
Now, what is the current state of boxing compared to pre-pandemic? And I say that because right now, just as a note, obviously, you know, they got all these fucking variants going around and everything, so I'm hearing more and more about some things getting shut down. Like, what's the vibe right now?
The answer is I don't know, Joel. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, I would have never been able to. I'm lying. I did get a phone. We'll touch on that. I did get a call about a fight during the pandemic. We'll touch on that. But I'm thinking that I'll probably have to, if everything goes through with the commission in the next 2 weeks, I'll probably start getting tested. I'll probably have to start getting tested. I am vaccinated and stuff like that. Like, you know, because I do have a pretty high profile job with Atlantic Health Systems. I work at a hospital, you know. And
you were working there during the heat of it.
I was actually blessed. I don't want to take credit like for all the nurses and all like the first responders and stuff like that. But yeah, we were there. My son was just born March 25th. I had planned on taking 2 weeks. My boss, supervisor, pretty close to me, manager and stuff. What are you going to come back here for? Exercise your maternity leave, so to speak, as a father. I was out of work 9 or 10 weeks, paid from the state of New Jersey.
Shit.
And then I went back. COVID was still heavy, bro.
Yeah.
Don't downplay it one bit. But what I'm saying is
which hospital again?
I work at Overlook.
Okay.
But as a man, should say a lot about me. I'm not going to sit here and sit back and think, yup, I was there. In like the height when you had 60 bodies rolling past our shop every day? No, I wasn't. When the 18-wheelers outside were filled with dead bodies? No, I wasn't there. But I'll tell you what, there was still a couple hundred patients filled with COVID in the hospital when I was there.
Yeah, our guy Zimmerman was on the, he was the pulmonologist, like on site, and he was telling me.
But it was crazy. It's still crazy. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lot of it in the hospital right now, but like I did. I just got tapped. We just got tapped on the shoulder the other day. Oh, remember that wing we set up there, 7 East? COVID ICU that spent millions of dollars to turn over like this? Yeah, put it back together. Why? Because we think it's coming back. Okay. Now, if I got to run, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm in camp. I'm training. I'm getting ready for a fight. There's a chance they're going to pull that rug right out from under me.
How are you going to deal with that?
Like I deal with anything else. Okay. Keep my foot on the fucking gas. My foot's on the gas. It ain't coming off. That's it. That's it.
Last time, you're, in fairness to you, this is, as we said, it was right when your son was being born and everything.
Bought a house.
Yep. There was all these things going on.
My wife suffered very bad from postpartum, depression, anxiety. Had to move in with her mom. COVID worked well for me in some aspects. I was able to get out of a lease that we just signed, went to her mom's, saved up money, ended up buying a beautiful home, renovated it. That side of it, yeah, that's all great. But it does. COVID fucked with everybody's mental health, right? I mean, I feel like therapists are extremely wealthy right now. You know what I mean?
They should be.
Yeah. So insurance or not insurance, I mean, that whole COVID thing was crazy. But it did hit at a bad time for me. It definitely did. I mean, I kind of took it in stride, I think. I think I was definitely doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, but it's behind me. I don't turn around. I don't look back. I'm looking straight ahead.
And you don't worry about that this time if it happens again? Knock on wood.
No, because I look back on something that happened where I got a message. Now, so this is just to touch a little bit how much boxing sucks. I got a call from one of a top advisor at a very, I don't want to use any names or companies, but I got a message from a very high-end management company in boxing today. I'm saying the management company in today's sport is a very large management company. I
thought you were going back here.
Has very big fighters signed to their management company. And I got a message, hey, this is so-and-so from so-and-so. Would you be interested in a fight at the top-ranked bubble? MGM Grand, live on ESPN. Abso-fucking-lutely. When? Thursday. What Thursday? This Thursday. Hey, yo, cuz, it's Tuesday. What are you, out of your fucking mind? Now, here's the flip side of it. I called my coach immediately. I called O immediately.
What did he say?
If I was in the gym because I keep my foot on the gas, there's really no difference for us, camp or not camp.
Yep.
We fucking train. We train to dominate. Strap City, Mean Nation. We talk about it highly because it's like a cult. You're either with us or you're not. Period. There's going to be good days, bad days. There's going to be days in the gym you're going to get fucked up, and then there's going to be days in the gym where you're going to fuck somebody up. And if I got that call and I was just in the gym, we were going. And then the kid that they wanted me to fight, number 1 ranked 165-pound kid in the nation, just won the Olympic trials.
Who was that?
Javier Martinez. And then coach knew him well. He just got done with the Olympic trials where his son competed. He was ranked number 3 in the country.
O's son
competed in the Olympic trials. Phelps came up short, got signed to a management company, had his pro debut for Top Rank in the bubble. You know, stopped him first round, body shot. And then MGM, ESPN, all that. ESPN Plus, I'm sorry. But
that's the online streaming.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He's going through a hand injury right now, but it's all right there in front of me. Right?
When was that call? Like April, May, something like that?
Nah, it's when they moved. The bubble was in MGM, because then I know they moved it to like Virgin Mobile Hotels or something like that. So whenever Javier Martinez debuted, they wanted me to debut against Javier Martinez.
Towards the beginning of the pandemic, though.
No, because there was like a good year without boxing, bro.
It was that long.
Yeah, had to be like 8 months, 10 months.
The one we heard about a lot, because it turned into a public story because of, frankly, how amazing it was, what he pulled off. But the one we heard about was UFC, because Dana White was the guy
Fight Island.
Right.
Yeah,
and he was the guy that, I mean, they really didn't shut down. They shut down for like 4 weeks, and then they got after it. But I didn't hear, I mean, it was crickets in boxing. And I know it's going to be crickets if it's not literally like the main event and everything.
Right.
But I mean, maybe I remember the fall, I started seeing like some promotions on HBO. They're like, oh, we're doing shit. I could be totally wrong about that, but it was all quiet on the Western Front.
I mean, so not to take anything away from boxing or from UFC, or like to change anybody's perspective. If UFC, that's always like a big battle, right? Like UFC's a real fucking sport and boxing's not. Man, fuck you.
They're different.
That's it, period. Like, I have a newfound respect for UFC because my strength and conditioning coach did have a professional bout as a UFC fight, mixed martial artist. And he puts it to me like this. Like, we always bust his chops. Like, y'all, man, listen, I don't roll around the ground. You know what I mean? I don't take kicks. Like, we fight up here. You know what I mean? He puts it to me in perspective like this to back up all these UFC guys. Like, go roll around on the ground for 2 minutes, get up and try and fight me. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Dude,
and he put it to me like that. Crazy.
Bro,
respect.
I hate those arguments. Yeah. I hate when UFC people talk shit on boxing. I hate when boxing people talk shit on UFC. They are wildly different.
Yeah.
They're also completely different mentalities due to the length of the fights and things like that. And they're unbelievably difficult to do and brave to be able to go in there and do it.
And if one more person asks me about Jake Paul, I'm going to fucking kill him. Okay? All right. Jake Paul is not a boxer. Tyrone Woodley is not a fucking boxer. Okay? Nate Robinson is a washed-up point guard from the New York Knicks who was fucking buns in the NBA. I hope you're listening to this. Okay? Because I am a big Knick fan. Like, come on, man. Like, stop trying to take it away from us. You think you're making the sport better? Fine. Fight. I don't care. Train hard, work hard, fight. Because I will say, like...
You don't think Jake's helping the sport?
Sure, with followers, because then he's giving all these other fighters like an opportunity to fight on his undercard. But like, so hear me out.
Okay.
Fight somebody your weight. Fight somebody your weight. Fight somebody that's a boxer.
Askren was bad. Askren walked in there. Askren
was
looked like
fat.
Dude, he looked like
retired
a thumb.
UFC fighter that took a fucking paycheck, literally. Ding, 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 ding. Stuck his chin in the sky.
It was bad.
Now, hear me out, though. Yeah. On the flip side of things, is he a smart man that he took the fucking money? He got the bag. I just touched on getting the bag, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he got the bag. Yo, he's gone. You'll never hear about Ben Askren again. God bless him.
He's a big crypto guy.
Is he? Is he? Yeah. Listen, Jake, Logan, if you're listening, you want to fight, go into camp. We'll meet at a weight. And we'll go.
I'm gonna push back a little bit here on a couple things.
It's good for the sport. I'm not telling you that it's not for views, for followers. Fine. If you're gonna do it, come correct and fight a boxer. You want to box?
Logan fought Floyd, and I know Floyd's older.
You really just said that to me.
I did say it to you.
They fought.
Am I gonna sit here and tell you that Floyd was doing 90%? Absolutely not. I'm not stupid.
He could have stopped him just as fast as he could have stopped Conor McGregor, bro. It's a money game for Floyd Mayweather. Come on, man. I respect the shit out of Floyd Mayweather, but that's a money grab for him, man. You know that. Just like going out to spar for $3 million for 3 rounds out in Japan.
You know what? You're right. It probably is. But still, there is, whether Floyd likes it or not, or no matter what he's getting paid, there's still reputational risk when he goes in there.
Sure.
So, like, if he takes it too easy and something happens, because, by the way, not for nothing, Logan also outweighs him by, like, 30 pounds.
I think the contract was Logan had to be 190 and Floyd
191 and I think 162, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 190, whatever the hell it was.
Either way, there was a 30-pound difference.
Okay.
So he gets in there.
So hear me out on this
Okay.
now, not to interrupt you.
No, please. And come into the mic.
How could you call it a fair boxing fight, match, bout, whatever you guys want to call it, if both parties are not abiding by the same fucking rules?
It's not.
Most states have a plus or minus 2 pound swing. So the most that I could ever weigh in is 162 for a non-championship bout on a 160-pound contract, plus or minus a pound. And then another guy at 158. Now, if this does not happen, they have to go to the... If I don't make weight, they're going to go to the guy that made weight and say, do you want to move forward with this bout? And it's up to him. Why does Logan and Jake get to do whatever the fuck they want? Because they were Disney stars?
Attention.
Right. You can. I'm not saying that they can't compete in our sport. Go ahead, do it. Why can't you do it like everybody else? That's my problem.
Because I think it goes right back to the marketing thing you were talking about earlier.
So it's a money grab.
Well, if you're going to do it, A, you want to do it at the highest level if they can, right? And they can because they have attention. So in this economy, they can. And B, the highest level is what's going to generate more attention. If Logan, I'll give you an example. If Logan fought Lomachenko, who you and I know well, we watched all his fights. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's also somewhat famous, like across like moderate boxing fan circles, but like you talk to the average asshole off the street who like doesn't watch boxing. You say Floyd Mayweather, they go, "Oh, Money Floyd." You go Lomachenko, they go, "Who?
Who the fuck is Vasiliy?"
Who the fuck is exactly? So like Lomachenko, legit fighter, great fucking fighter.
Yeah.
If Logan fights him, it's Logan Paul. It's going to sell out. It's going to do well. It's not going to do what it does with Floyd Mayweather. So yes, an aspect of it absolutely includes the marketing and money grab. Not denying that. I am saying though, if he goes out and fights somebody who's his own weight and there's not even a Lomachenko there, you know, at like 190, whatever it is, you know, like for what? For what? You know, there's even a narrative like with Jake fighting Ben Askren. Yeah. The narrative is Ben Askren was, I mean, he's like an internet troll at this point as well. Yeah. And he's also, you know, he looked like a human thumb. It's funny, right? There's an angle there, right. You know, so the marketing's there. But I do believe, like, because, and I'll admit, I'm a big fan of Logan. Always have been. Not as a boxer. I'm saying, like, for what he's done with his career and everything. But Logan's pretty legit. Like, Logan can fight. And that is something I'm willing to say. I hear what you're saying. Like, you want to do it in the right weight class. You want to do it the same way as everyone else. And if I were in the sport, I'll bet I'd be saying the right thing. And even outside the sport, I will say that I will probably say that too. Though I will at least tell you I understand what they're doing.
Oh, I understand what they're doing completely. But I'm just saying, like, the way that is he good for the sport of boxing? He is good for the marketing aspect of boxing. But for the actual sport of boxing, thinking like, so some of these kids are probably going to think like, so what? I could just start a fucking YouTube channel and I'm going to make millions of dollars and fight some washed up UFC fighter? Come up like me, bro.
Look what's happening to some of them though too. Because like you have to be able, and I know there can be some fixes on some stuff, but like look at the kid. What the fuck is his name?
There's that Indian kid who does it. There's all kids.
No. The most recent one. What the hell was his name? I'm blanking on his name. Bryce Hall, the TikTok kid. So they had like the TikTok versus YouTubers thing, which I'm sure drove you nuts.
Yeah,
but
I don't even know,
dude. He goes in there, right, talking all shit. He's been in all these street fights in his life and everything, and you know, he didn't do well. Yeah. And so, will he probably get another one? Of course he will. He's famous. But there's still, like, people aren't taking that as seriously because he went in there and he got his ass kicked.
Right.
Right? So you still better be able to go in there and do something. That's why I think it's a net good for boxing, even though I hear you where it's like, oh, I'm going to go get famous doing whatever the fuck over here and do the same thing that these guys are grinding in the gym to be able to do. It is a marketing world. You have to be able, and you actually, I'm preaching to the choir here because you know that well. I remember you talking with me about this when you were an amateur. You weren't even a pro yet, and you're like, dude, you can either sell the story and get attention to people, or
Right.
you're nobody.
Absolutely. You could be the most talented motherfucker out there, but if you don't offer anything for the promotion, what good are you?
Right.
I mean, that's just how it goes. I get that. So, like I said, I mean, I do like seeing that the undercards are filled with real bouts. You know what I mean? Like Amanda Serrano is defending her title underneath Logan. I'm not saying these kids aren't training. They are.
They are.
I just think, like, you're going to put in that work, show the world that you're going to fight somebody that's a boxer that's training as hard as you. That's all I'm getting at.
I will say this. I do want to see that from Jake, because I look at Jake can fight, man.
I mix up who the fuck both of them are.
Jake's
I don't know which one's
Jake's
which.
the younger one. He's like
Who's
shorter.
the one that fought the black kid from England? Jake.
No, that's Logan. KSI.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Yeah, bro.
Logan fought KSI. Jake is shorter.
Yeah.
Jake is shorter and like a thicker individual. Like
Yeah.
they're the same weight, but
So
they're
he's the
different
one
heights.
fighting Tyrone Woodley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now Tyrone Woodley's not a boxer. He's
No.
a UFC fighter.
Correct.
Who was known as a striker, though. Like, for what it's
Different-
worth.
sure.
Different
Okay.
strokes,
Yeah.
but certainly was known as that.
Sure.
Very interesting to me, because we're recording the day before that fight. So this episode's going to come out on Wednesday. We're recording on Friday. So this fight's already over. But it's very, very interesting to me that when they're in there doing the promotional stare down, the initial press conference, Jake on camera in front of everyone is saying, right here, right now, let's bet our purse against each other. The winner, the loser has to give their purse to charity. The winner gets to keep their purse. And Tyrone Woodley, it was awkward. He was staring at him and just tried to put on like the mean face, and he wouldn't even answer the question. Wouldn't do it. So if you're that much of a legit fighter and like that scary and all that shit, and like, oh, I'm a pro, I'm gonna knock the fuck out of this guy, why aren't you taking that?
Why would you do it for free? Didn't you just say the winner? They want to give it all to charity?
No,
or
the
something?
loser would have to give their.
Oh. I mean, what? Maybe it's a setup. I don't. I've messaged both of them and said I'd fight them and give it to charity. So I'm not the right guy to ask about that.
You messaged Jake and Woodley.
Both of them numerous times. Like, it's not that it bothers me. Like, I don't care. Like it's just. Yo, it's frustrating because I know there's so many people out there like me putting their fucking heart and soul and training training hard as hell. Tank Davis got an eviction letter from his home before his first world championship fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just I just know there's a lot of people out there working hard and digging and coming from the gutter and through the trenches. Why did these two Disney stars get all the money and get the shot? Like,
I hear you. I think.
But they are good for the marketing aspect of boxing. You know?
I understand the personal side of it though, and like, I think I said this, but I'll repeat it in case I didn't. I would probably feel a similar type of way if I were in it. And knowing fighters, I mean, I've known you, I've known some other guys, and none of them are big, but you know. I know what goes into that, and there is a part of me that says, like, God damn, it's like kind of cutting the line in a way. But to me, if it can bring attention to the sport, and to your credit, you are saying like it's good for the sport in that way. If it can bring attention to the sport, I'm about it, because I also think that partially because of the things you and I have already talked about the business of boxing, but other reasons as well. Boxing has really been hurt from an attention standpoint, especially over the last decade.
Right.
And so right now, it's having a moment, and that moment is driven off of those guys. And like, also, you know, I'm going to enjoy when Floyd goes out there, because he may never do that again. He may have one more, you know, the guy's almost 50 years old.
Right.
And we'll agree that he was 70% in there, but still, you're watching pound for pound, probably the greatest fighter of all time, and it's like, damn, what's after him? You know, what's there? Lomachenko's there. Lomachenko, and this is not his fault, Lomachenko is a foreigner, you know, like on the American market, you can't talk shit like Floyd can. There is a language barrier there. It's not his fault, But I'm saying, like,
Of course.
so what else is there? What else are we going to look at? The Charlo twins are great.
Yeah.
I like them, but they seem to be not when they're at the point of promoting the actual fight. They all put on a show then, but like they seem to be just in general, and no disrespect to them, I think this is great. They're quieter guys. Like they kind of go about their work, they do whatever. They're not constantly making a narrative, which unfortunately is a big part of it.
No, I listen, I get that completely. I mean, it's because they're fighters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They keep to themselves. They go, they get in camp, they fight, they do their thing, they promote the fight, they get out. You know, that's the sport. That's the lifestyle of it. Like, life doesn't always have to be lights, camera, action, but for Floyd, it does.
Yeah.
You know, Floyd, it definitely does. Like, how big can your chain be? Like, does it come any bigger? Like,
No.
you know, that's his.
Probably not.
That's his thing.
I mean, you saw it a few weeks ago too, or a month ago, whatever it was, with McGregor in UFC, which it's similar aspect, but it was very disappointing. And I'll look at this from two ends, and then I want your thoughts on it. But it was very disappointing to see how he handled that after it happened. Because I've even, on this podcast, I've defended him before, saying, like, one of the things I like about him is he can talk shit with the best of them. But in his career, outside of Khabib, because they legitimately hate each other, outside of that, he has always been gracious in victory and in defeat. And what we saw in the last fight, he was not. Now, it wasn't a pure defeat because his leg snapped in half, you know, and he had to stop out.
Right.
But I don't want to defend how he handled that because I completely disagreed with it, and it was just wrong to me, and it was disappointing. But in his mind, right there, what it looks like to me is, you know, he is a marketer. He's very good at it. And he knows.
Absolutely.
He knows that didn't look good because forget that the injury looked devastating. A, he's not getting younger. B, he hasn't been, you know, he had the one great fight right before the pandemic, but he's had a couple losses in the last 3 years. He's had fewer fights, and he knew the narrative the second he hit the deck and his leg was in half, where it's like, oh, people are going to say I'm done. Yeah. So how do you get the attention off of saying Conor's done? You do crazy fucking shit and say crazy shit and keep the volume on you and start promoting the next fight. Right. And unfortunately, even though I still disagree with it and I hate it, I do get it.
Right. I get it too. I mean, I definitely get it. That's for sure. That's for sure. As far as, see, like, I don't follow Conor's career. I don't know much about Conor's career. I like Conor's backstory. Conor was a plumber. I'm an electrician. He came from the fucking slums of Crumlin, right? Crumlin? Is that?
I think that's right, but I'll check
I think it's Crumlin. I'm not like an Ireland guy, you know.
That sounds right.
I think it's Crumlin. So he came from like a bad neighborhood and stuff like that, but and he came up and he's been with the same chick. You know, like he's got a great story, but now I feel like I hear Conor McGregor, and when I mean I hear him, all you hear is like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Yeah. And then boom, Conor lost. He does it again. I'm Conor boom, Conor lost. Like, I feel like all you hear about is Conor losing, which, hey, listen, again, we keep saying it, get the bag, do your thing. But he is a real fucking fighter, bro.
He is.
He's great for the sport. He's great for essentially, right, like he started all that, right? Like with Floyd and stuff like that, but like Conor could actually like box. Like if he like
he could.
Yeah, you know, so
and that's a hill I'll die on. Floyd had to work in that fight.
Absolutely.
And Floyd
Absolutely. I do think that Floyd took it 9 rounds because he did ask at the end of the fight, like, what was the over under? You know what I'm saying? He took it right into the 9th round. He put his money on the over. Like,
he was still, though,
smart man, businessman.
You could see it in the 3rd round of that fight. He's Floyd Mayweather. He wasn't concerned, but he was like, oh shit.
Right. Just like everybody says, De La Hoya almost beat him. No. Floyd Mayweather takes 3 or 4 rounds and he's going to learn you. Just like Muhammad Ali did to Lou Esa. Can
you actually, though, like, let's take this opportunity to do this, because this is something that drives me nuts, and I'm not the guy to explain it, because you know I love boxing, but I'm not technical like you by a long shot. You know every in and out of this sport. I'm a novice when it comes to actually understanding it. But I always have tried to, like, when people come to me, it drives me nuts. And they say, oh, Floyd Mayweather's so fucking boring. I'm like, bro, He is the greatest. He's the greatest defensive fighter of all time. That's a fact. That's not even an opinion anymore.
People say him and Sugar Ray.
He is also fundamentally. I mean, he's the best fighter I've ever seen. So what makes him like? What goes into it that makes him that great? Like, what are the little things he does that you look at and say, "Oh, I need to do that"?
His experience, his boxing IQ is retarded, bro.
Yeah,
it's fucking scary. I mean, he's been in the sport for 40 years.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, I don't know. He's 40. Yeah, probably like 40 years he's been in the sport. He mastered that Philly shell. Like,
now, for people that aren't watching, you're turning to your left a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he would.
Your shoulder
that's
up.
His lead shoulder, and then he would parry or divert the punches with his shoulder and fire back. Counter puncher, and figure you out. And like defensively, his mindset and his quickness and his speed, like his reaction time, like
his footwork's insane.
I mean, yeah, it's the best. He's one of the best to ever do it. I'm not going to say he's the GOAT. I don't say Ali's the GOAT, so I'm not going to say he's the GOAT.
It is hard to say because it's so nuanced, man. It's eras, it's weight classes.
Everybody will have their favorite fighter. As far as who has Muhammad Ali took boxing to another level.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd Mayweather took boxing to another level. Me, I mean, I'm a middleweight, bro. So it's like, of course, I like watching like Marvin Hagler. I love seeing Canelo. However, I love Caleb Plant. Like, this is going to be a super tough fight for me to watch. Like, I'm Switzerland. I just want to see a great performance from both fighters.
You're Rob Lowe. You never saw it?
No.
Rob Lowe in the stand at an NFL game wearing the NFL hat and like the black NFL sweater.
Oh, that's funny.
And he's like, I just want a fair fight.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that's really funny. That's funny.
But you've always been that way, though. Even before you boxed, you were just an enormous fan of all these different great fighters.
Of course. Like, I think everybody has great aspects to them. Like, if I could rewind, I think that seeing Sugar Ray fight Floyd would be pretty fucking amazing. But I also, like, everyone's like, well, Floyd beat Canelo, so he's better than Canelo. Man, fuck that. Canelo wasn't in his prime. Floyd was in his prime. Canelo's in his prime right now at 31 years old.
Yeah.
He is a fucking machine. He is the pound for pound great. Everyone said it was Vasiliy, and I was like, yo, where's Canelo in the list? Like, and I love Loma, you know that. What Loma does with his feet, that's something.
It's absurd.
That's something crazy.
It's absurd.
I mean, look, we just watched a great last week fight, Manny Pacquiao. Like, the way he would shift and hit you was something. He did something else for boxing. He elevated boxing. Like,
absolutely.
I think all these guys just did something for boxing. As far as like the GOAT, I don't know. Everyone's going to have their opinion. It's not like the NBA where there is one GOAT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I say, like, when I say pound for pound, and you're right, like, you shouldn't throw that around. But pound for pound, I will say that with Mayweather, and I'll say it more carefully. What I won't go to is then straight up saying, like, and some people will say it's the same thing. I don't know. In my head, it's not. But I won't say, like, he's definitely, out of all of them, every weight class, the greatest fighter of all time. It's very, very hard to say that because of eras, because of
course, because
of style, and like the science. The difference, I don't care. I understand it's relative on a size basis because if you're small, if your opponent's smaller, so are you. But the difference between two 150-pounders throwing shots at each other and two 250-pounders throwing shots at each other is massive.
Sure, absolutely, bro. Look, you ask my dad who's the greatest, he's going to tell you either Ali or Sugar Ray, right? You ask Lou Esa, he's going to tell you Ali. You ask guys from wherever, they're going to tell you it's Pacquiao or it's fucking Mayweather. You ask guys, everybody's going to have a different response. What about Pernell Whitaker? Fucking Sweet Pea, bro. Everyone says, I would love to see Mayweather, Sugar Ray. All right, well, what about Sweet Pea? Who recently passed, rest in peace. Yeah. But it's like, everyone's going to have a different aspect. I just think that every single one of those fighters did something different for boxing, and I think they did. I like when people ask the question more is like, build the best fighter, build the greatest fighter. Who had the best right hand? Tommy Hearns. Who had the best defense? Floyd Mayweather. Who's got the most power? What about George?
Yeah.
What about, George Foreman? Like, so there's just like all these different things that I think you could build like the world's greatest fighter. I hate to say there's just a GOAT, because I think if anything's the GOAT, the sport of boxing is the GOAT.
Sport of boxing has an amazing history. It would have been really cool. I think I could be wrong about this. I think there might be really grainy footage out there of like a couple of them, but it would have been amazing to see like Jack Johnson in his prime.
Oh, like
just
going back,
murdering motherfuckers.
Oh, I was all about that. I was all about that old school shit. Like he's into watching all that stuff.
Didn't he? I also could be wrong about this. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. But didn't he still fight when they had no gloves? It was just straight hands.
I think they had some sort of leather on at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they still.
That was some savage shit.
Savages, bro.
That was nuts. Like you're actually going in there, you might die. Like actually, like there's like a 20% chance, 30% chance you're gonna die.
Everybody, like, we're about to turn a kid pro in a gym. His father reached out to me. He's like, I want to turn him pro. Blah blah blah. Look, I'll help you. I'll give you whatever knowledge I got. I won't let you get eaten by these fucking blood-sucking wolves out there. But, obviously I had the paperwork in my hand, and I went first. I said, well, meet me at the gym. You could tape my hands, and we'll talk. Okay. So he brings his son. He's taping my hands. And I said, well, this conversation doesn't start until O's here, because if O tells me he can't turn, then we ain't turning. There's a difference between a grown man and a boy. You know what I mean? If he tells me he's ready and O said, yeah, we're going to turn him, but he ain't fighting soon. Not yet, but you could turn.
What is so that's another thing like in boxing that is a little hazy to people. When you become a pro, you get the paperwork that says you're a pro.
Right.
And it's different in the sense that you can literally just kind of decide to turn pro.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Like, it's just, you could, but you'll never fight up here. Like, you're going to have to go down south for a little while. Like, people go down south because the boxing commissions are a lot different. You know what I mean?
How so?
Canelo started fighting in Mexico when he was 15 or 14.
So they basically just let a lot more go.
Of course. They don't care. Bro, you're going in there. You risk your life. I tell people all the time, there's only two ways out of that ring for me. O's towel or a fucking body bag. Yeah. Period. So once I asked that question the other day, I'm like, you ready to flip that switch? What switch, bro? The switch that you step through those ropes and the bell rings. There's a chance you're going to die. And I telling you flat out to all of America, there's two ways out for me. Because my coach stopped the fight, which I respect because I put my life in his hands. That's a bond that you need to have with your coach. He's not just my trainer. My life is in his hands 3 minutes at a time. I come back to the corner and I'm fucked up and I don't look good. It's his call.
Yeah.
How you feel? You want to go? My answer is always going to be the same thing every time. Yes. So he knows better. He wants to stop the fight. He'll stop the fight. I'll accept that. Or body bag. One of the two. Because I will never quit.
That is a hard thing.
Christy Martin said it best.
Go ahead.
Taking that knee and quitting, that's the longest 10 seconds of your life.
Yeah.
The Coal Miner's Daughter. Great documentary out right now.
What's that on?
Christy Martin.
No, what like
Netflix? Netflix. Yeah, Netflix.
I gotta watch that.
You gotta watch that, bro. Shit was deep. It was heavy. It was deep.
It's a weird thing though, when you do put your life in the trainer's hand, and look, I've never been in that position at all, so I don't really know what it could feel like, but I would imagine, and I've seen this before, where towel goes in, and you said you'd accept it, but some fighters, it ruins their relationship with them because they're like, I wasn't done.
Because you're probably going back to like the whole Deontay Wilder thing, right? That fight should have been stopped the round before that. It's just a level of knowledge and respect, and like, okay, if you want to put it in your head and be a stupid fucking fighter and think you had more in you, well, guess what? Then you should have done better. You should have done more to prove that, and you didn't. I got an iron jaw. Iron.
You do.
Iron. I got the white man curse, right? Like, I got the white man curse. We don't move our fucking head. Was Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward really that great of fighters? No. Boxers? No. They were fucking fighters. And they had probably the greatest trilogy of all time in boxing because they beat the living shit out of each other. It was like trading punches. Can one of us move our heads, please? Right? And I got the same problem. So it's like my jaw is seasoned already. Like, you get hit. That's all you got? Let's go. Dog fight. Hands up. Go to work. But that don't make, like...
That is demoralizing, though, for the opponent.
Absolutely.
It is very demoralizing.
Absolutely. I just sparred a kid the other day. This kid was leaking everywhere. Eye, nose, mouth. I actually hit him with a hard right hand. I saw his head fly back, and he came back. It was right there, right hand, left hook. I could have came back in there, and I was like, oh, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. I was like about to punch myself out. It is demoralizing. Like, you gotta still fight your fight. It's crazy, bro. It is crazy. Because if you try to get someone out of there and you can't get them out of there and you just put all that fucking energy into trying to get them out of there, guess what? Ding, 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 ding. You come out for the next round. This motherfucker's built that way.
Yeah.
And you might not be.
I love that. So, like, I love, that's one of my favorite things to see, because I know, like, yeah, you don't want to put yourself in that position, or yeah, maybe you're not as skilled at moving your head or something like that, and like you don't want to see people get hit, but
right.
God damn, there's something about when someone's getting hit and they just don't stop,
right?
And they're not just walking into it, but they're like, okay, all right, you got me. All right, let's keep going. Yeah. That's why people love Rocky, because that's the whole story. He's like, come on, hit me again.
Bro, my last fight, I hit this motherfucker with everything but the kitchen sink in the first 2 rounds. Yeah. I'm like, yo, I can't get this guy out of there. 3rd round, what happened? I started getting lazy. Jab, he hits me with an overhand right. Bong. Jab, bong. 1, 2, bong, bong. I got hit again. I came back to the corner. Oh, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck up. Get out there, get it done. And I won the 4th round. Like, I put it together. I got it back together. Yo, it gets...
Fucked with your head?
Fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah.
These are 3-minute rounds and everything, but they're...
It's a lifetime, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, what does it feel like?
People tell you that all the time, bro. All the time.
How long does it feel?
A lifetime.
Realistically.
It feels like 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck to say, but like, yo, sometimes you're in there and you're like, until you become a fighter, you don't really realize how long 3 minutes really is, right? Mm-hmm. So like, I tell people like this all the time. Like, I asked the question. Let's ask you a question. Have you ever been in a bar fight?
And this is a bar fight?
This is a tough question to ask you, because you've boxed and you've hit the bag and you know, like, holy fuck, is it over yet? Nah, 2 minutes to go. You know what I mean? But like, I ask people all the time, like, you ever been in a street fight? Yeah. And what, you think you're a fucking fighter and a boxer because you've been in a street fight? Yeah, bro, I'll fuck shit up. Yeah. Your street fight lasted about 12 seconds max.
Yep.
Add another 2 minutes and 48 seconds on top of that. Ring the bell, take a break, take some water, spit it out, get back in there and do it again. Because let me tell you something, you can't. I just did this the other day, sparring with some guys. It was my first time sparring in 15 months. I thought I felt good. I looked good. I took some shots. I got a black eye right now. It's part of the game. I was sparring with some kids. They weren't as experienced as me probably. I gave them a little bit. They got on me a little bit. And I kept hearing my man Edgar, you're going to punch yourself out. You're going to punch yourself out. I just sat back. I was patient. Hands up. I waited. Catching. Hit me with a couple shots. Then you could hear it as he's hitting me. Okay, here we go. My turn now. Back the fuck up. Bang! You know what I mean? It's just, it's a long time. I ain't gonna lie to you.
People don't
I did ask, because it was my first time in the ring in a while. I was like, hey, yo, you got that clock set at 4 minutes? Like, what's up?
I remember Lou Esa, though, pushing me like some mornings. He'd just like walk up at 6 a.m. I'm trying to get a workout in before work. He's like, come on, I'm putting 2 more on the clock. And I'd be like, Lou, what the fuck? He goes, kid, the bag doesn't punch back. It's not that long.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, it's true. It is very, like, even when you are standing there and not having someone punch back, but you are working mitts with somebody and they're just doing drills of shit, you start to realize, oh, now imagine there's actually force on that mitt. Yeah. And think about, like, how tired you get in 2 minutes of that compared to even a bag. And you're like, holy shit.
It's hard. I remember, so what I tell people all the time is like, jump rope, that's easy. Okay. They start jumping rope. I'm like, all right, come on, we want to work out? Yeah, I want to try boxing. All right, come on. Come down to the gym. Come down to the gym. I thought you're good at jumping rope, right? Yeah. All right, there's the rope right there. How many rounds? 5. Oh, all right, yeah, bet. No problem. Yeah.
5 3-minute rounds?
Yeah. Not even a minute.
Yeah.
I sound like a fucking horse running down the road. What's up, yo? I thought you... Yo, I ain't built like this, yo. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I remember Lou Esa used to make me do something that was...
Lou making you do something? Come on.
You
Lou
finished the
would never do
workout.
that.
All right, take the gloves off, champ. You know, the big teeth. How you doing, champ? Right?
I do got to get him in here.
But...
It'd be classic.
3 rounds straight on the speed bag. No breaks. 12 minutes.
Wait. 12-minute rounds?
No. 12 minutes straight. 3 rounds on the speed bag. No break. 3 minutes, 1 minute, 3 minute, 1 minute. Don't stop. I hear that fucking bag slowing down. Huh?
Oh, God. What a savage. I'll
fucking savage.
Dude, I will never forget that this was when you were on the amateur circuit, where before one of the fights, and then you might have done this at all of them, and I just didn't notice it, but I think it was like your 3rd or 4th fight. You had been warming up, staying warm with the mitts for a while, and then he was like, all right, we're going to throw some hooks now, and he comes out without the mitts. And
nah, he's stupid.
This is his 60. I mean, he's still 6'6".
To the body.
260.
Yeah.
He's walking out there.
No chest protector.
Dude, you're throwing hooks like
hard. Everything I
he's
got.
like, come on. No, little harder over there.
Yeah,
and like,
you hit like a pussy.
He's walking right into it.
Man, get the fuck. Bang, ripping to the liver. Like, this guy feels nothing, bro.
Dude, people weren't watching the fight. They're fucking watching this guy warming up with Lou Esa over there. It's like, holy shit, man.
Warrior, just built different, bro. He's
seen some shit.
I just can't get into some of it on live air, but yes.
Yeah, we'll see if he does, but
it's some of the things that I've heard him say, and just, I mean, dude, I've gone to spar and it'd be like warming up. Like, what the fuck is that smell? Hey, yo, I think it's that guy's bag. Walks over to the bag. Holy shit! Takes the bag. He walks right outside. He throws the shit in the dumpster. Guy comes back. Hey, yo, anybody seen my bag? Yeah, I seen it. It's in the fucking dumpster. They're like, you threw my gear out? Yeah, it smells like last week's fucking meatloaf. Wash it and come back. Kid, put your back gloves on. We ain't sparring today. Like,
I fucking miss that guy.
Dude, he's
Conor ever tell you the story about his phone? Like one of his first phones?
He threw it out.
No. He gets a phone. This is back when like cell phones like not came out, but maybe like a few years in. He gets a phone that he had been at the store. A guy sold him on it, buys it for hundreds of dollars, and brings it back. And within a week, it's not working. And you know, he's like looking at it. He's like, oh man, like I don't have a warranty on that. Like he's real upset about it. And Lou's like, what's up, kid? And he's like, I don't know, Lou. I just bought this phone and
come on, get in the car.
Hey, wait, what do you mean it's not working? They got to give you a new one. He's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. I didn't buy the warranty. He's like, all right, bat in the car, let's go. And they go down there and he got a fucking new phone. And that's Lou Esa, man.
Listen, bro. I mean, that's him through and through. I've been through it with him before with stuff like that. Like he rubbed off on me like a wrong way. Like quick funny story. Like it's okay because it obviously didn't happen. But I went to get a new truck recently, right? And
Bad-
it's just
bad
like
start.
how bad he's fucking he rubbed off on me. So I go to the dealership and like I really wanted to buy a Ford, right? I had a Dodge 1500 and you know how much I work. I needed a bigger truck, right? I needed a 2500. I put tons of fucking miles on it. So my brother's like, hey, go down to this Ford dealer. Like, they got the truck that you want. They just got it in. I call him like, oh, yeah, it's here. I'm like, listen, I don't have an easy deal. I want to put this on the table right now. Here's the trade. Here's the VIN. Here's what I owe. Okay. They call me back. We could do 35,000, whatever. And it was like 2,000 lower than I wanted. I'm like, all right, you know what? We're close enough. I'm going to come down. We're going to make a deal. I brought a fucking letter from the fucking bank with the financing saying Zachary's approved up to 70,000, whatever the fuck it was, bro. I go down there, the one salesman, he's like, come on, let's go out, take a look at the truck. And then the manager, I'm going to go praise yours, all right? So he comes back, he's like, come on in, boys. And we go in. I swear, bro, this is like a Lou Esa moment. I did it, and he'd be so proud of me. I hope he did it. He sits down, he goes, got a little problem. I go, yeah, how did I know this was coming out of a fucking car dealership? He goes, you want to tell me you got into an accident? What do you mean tell you? I gave you the VIN. We want me to fucking broadcast it to you? Like I told you, here's the VIN, run the VIN, and tell me what you can give me. What are you thinking we do 17,000 on your trade? He goes to me. So then I'm like,
What was the original number?
so I wanted 35, you offered me 32.
So it went down to 17.
17,000. And this is where the Lou Esa kicked in Zach, bro. I'm sitting in this dealership, all right? I don't give a fuck. All American Ford, Paramus. I'm sitting in there. He goes, what do you think we do 17,000 on the trade? Switch, the Lou Esa switch. Flip. I go, what do you think I go to your house and I fuck your wife? What do you think? Guy's like, he's just looking at me. I go, huh? What do you think? What do you think of that? 17,000 for the truck, and I'm gonna go to your house and I'm gonna fuck your wife. Because there was a line that Lou used to give me all the time. Lou stepped on a scale to go to a weigh, and he told the guys like, I'm gonna fuck your wife and eat your kids. Like he's Mike Tyson, bro. He's like, oh, I stole that
That's
one.
him. That's him, dude. That's just that. Like he
Different
means it,
breed,
but he doesn't
bro.
mean it, but he means it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We can't even get into some of the other stuff I've heard him say, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
I won't go all
crazy.
the way. But
it's crazy.
that guy has had an interesting life, to say the
Definitely.
least. He has
Definitely.
been around, seen some shit, done some shit. But you know what? When it comes to boxing, fucking guy knows everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, not just like knows of them, like he knows them.
Yeah, I was watching like some because obviously like I was with the pandemic, I was watching like documentaries and stuff like that. And like there was one of the Austin Trout fights. Who did he fight? Who did he beat? He wasn't supposed to beat. Austin Trout, MSG. Look that shit up.
So anyway, keep going. I'm looking it up. Miguel Cotto?
Yeah, he beat Cotto.
Yeah.
Yes, Trout beat Cotto at MSG. And he wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to be like not a tune-up, but it was just supposed to be like, because Cotto always fought the day after the Puerto Rican Day Parade. It was supposed to be like a tune-up or something for Cotto. They're like, yeah, we're going to put Austin Trout in there. So I watched this documentary and Trout wins. Trout won the belt. He just fucking beat Miguel Cotto. Watching the documentary, walking out of MS3. Who's walking Austin Trout out? Lou fucking Esa. Crazy.
Is he still technically your manager too?
That's a touchy subject.
Oh.
Yeah. Short. No. The answer is no. The answer is no.
I mean, it's all. I mean, he kind of started as your trainer and everything too, and like you said, the business side of it, you were taking more control of.
Right.
As far as like starting your own promotion company before, which
Right.
is that going to be a thing again?
We're gonna
do you
try.
think?
We're gonna try for sure. I got to focus on fighting right now. Let's get through. Let's get through 21, and let's get boxing back 100%. Let's get this Delta variant out of the fucking way, and then let's get into 2022. Because you remember, like I'm taking this comeback fight. I'm calling it the hashtag comeback camp, and we're gonna get I really should be fighting a 6-rounder, but we're gonna get a 4-rounder out of the way real quick, and then Well, we're gonna jump into a 6-round bout.
How does that actually work, though?
It does.
I
It's
never
up to
asked
you.
you that.
It's up to you. I mean, just generally speaking, you fight 1 to 5, 4 rounds, and your 6th fight, you fight 6 rounds. You know?
So that there is like a system with that. Because eventually...
Not really, because you could be like, Lomachenko, think about it. He had 347 amateur fights.
Whoa. Lomachenko had 347 amateur fights.
Yeah, and lost 1.
No, he didn't.
Look
347?
Look up his fucking record, bro. He was like...
I'll pull it up behind you.
He was like 347-1 or some shit like that.
Lomachenko, amateur. How many fights is that a year?
Dude, it's different, yo. He's built different.
He's a machine.
Yeah.
He has that Ukrainian Soviet.
Yes. You want the box? We do ballet first, yes.
Isn't his dad like a psycho?
They're just like very religious people. Eastern Europeans, Ukrainians, Polish. They're all very religious people. You know that.
I didn't know that. Well, I guess I kind of knew that.
Well, did you ever notice how he wears that fugazi? He's a millionaire and he wears that fugazi rope wooden cross. He wears like literally, it looks like a piece of twine around his neck. Yes. And the first thing his father does when he comes back to the corner after he just won or whatever he did, he puts his cross back around his neck. Tell me you found his record. I'm telling you. I'm
looking for it. He's 17-1 as a pro, or 18-1. I forget what it said.
Yeah, but I'm saying he won his first world title. He had like, and he won. He lost his fourth professional fight. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had
and he's not
loss.
17-1. He's got to be like 18-2 or 17-2, 16-2. He lost to Teofimo, and he lost to whatever his 4th fight.
All right, boxing. I'll go to boxing.
He was in like 8 rounders from the rip.
Holy shit.
347-1.
Bro,
right?
No, it's worse than that.
4 something.
I just saw it, but now I clicked it.
What is it?
It said on the preview on Google, but now I'm trying to scroll and fucking find it. Amateur record. His professional record is
17-2.
Yeah, he has 2 losses, so I think it's 17 or 18-2. It said it on the... I'm going to have to go back to the Google preview.
I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. It's like 300 and something and 1. He's lost like 1 amateur fight, bro.
That is... 396 and 1. He finished his amateur career with acclaimed career...
Let's go.
All right. Acclaimed career record. I mean, this is Ukraine.
I don't give a fuck, bro. He went to 2 Olympics and won them both.
Fair. He's just different.
His first pro fight, look up his first pro fight, how many rounds it was. Look up his pro career on BoxRec. Just type in Vasiliy Lomachenko.
I'm on his page right now. So
on BoxRec?
On BoxRec, yeah.
All right. What's it say?
It's behind you.
Can I turn around?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. He has defeated 12 opponents. This is his professional record. 12 opponents, 9 by KO in world title fights. Has a record of 12-2 with 9 knockouts in world title fights. Has a record of 8-2 with 6 knockouts against former, current, and future world champs.
Orlando Salido, I believe, was his 4th fight, and he lost. Orlando Salido, I believe, was his 4th fight, and he lost. And it was just like crazy.
All right, we're gonna check out his Wikipedia page because that'll have some details there. Because when was his most recent fight?
So his most recent fight, he just beat the Asian guy.
I didn't watch his most recent fight. What the fuck was his name? I know what you're
because he lost to Teofimo, and then they said he came back in like unbelievable fashion. Like he put on a clinic with this guy.
All right, Lomachenko attempted to make history by winning a world championship in his 2nd fight.
There you go.
And then this was with Salido.
Right.
Does it say he lost?
So there you go. Wait, just back up 1 second. His second pro fight, he challenged Orlando Salido to a world title, a 12-round bout.
I mean, he did have 397 amateur fights.
3-round fights.
Still.
3 fucking rounds.
I know. It is a big jump.
Yeah.
You're right.
Nobody. You're right. Still. Anyways.
396 and 1.
I know. It's disgusting. I know.
How many years was that over?
Well, they turned pro late.
Yeah, but like still, he's no, but still, dude, he's only 33 years old.
He's 33. Yeah, he's my age. He turned pro fucking 28. Look when he turned pro, 28.
So still on the
10 years, he fought 400 fights. He fought 40 times.
10 years, 40 times a year. Bro, that's almost once a week.
You want the box?
I mean, how fast were these things?
Animal, bro. Yeah, but you got to realize over there, too, they fight. His amateur record could be over since, for instance, Horse started boxing when he was 6. Horsey had 100. It was like 132 and.
So they count it when you're
Vito
really
Meldicki,
young. Wait, they count it when you're really young like that too.
You get one book, cuz. Vito's got like 100-something fights. 100 and you could probably look that up too, but I mean, listen, all those kids, those big name kids like Son, Horse, you don't become a 10-time national champion in the amateurs by fighting 8 fights. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But listen, I Gabe Rosado, Tevin Farmer, Jason Sosa, me, a lot of guys, bro, don't have a lot of Amis. Like, that doesn't make you a fucking world champion, but it does make you different. It makes you just seasoned differently. You know what I'm saying? So
now, how do the guys look at you, like some of your buddies in the pros who've been doing this for years in some cases, right?
Yeah.
And maybe they're grinding away and still not making a ton of money in many cases. But, you came into this so late and, like it or not, if they were training from the time they were 15 on,
right,
and they're your age,
right,
trying to get by, they do see someone in there, they're like, damn, this motherfucker's been in this for like 3.5, 4 years. Do you have to go take some of that respect, or do they respect the fuck out of the fact that you got yourself to this level and you work your balls off?
Respect.
That's great.
Respect, bro. I just came from a fucking hardcore pro gym before I came here. And like, the way I carry myself differently, respect. I respect them. They respect me. Like boxing's a fucking lonely sport, but when you find the right team, you're in it together. You lose, they lose. It's hard, bro. Boxing's lonely. Getting up 4 o'clock in the morning is going to run. Like Hagler said it best. Like, you know how hard it is to get up 5 o'clock in the morning and go for a run when you're sleeping in silk pajamas? So I don't know what that feels like. I don't got money.
That's and that's relatable to a lot more than boxing. But you look at this in life, in anything. Yeah. The hunger you have, because I think about this a lot, and I stay unbelievably self-aware about it because, of course, like I have dreams. I'm trying to do things, right? But the hunger you have when you don't have anything and you gotta, or at least relatively speaking, compared to what you get if you're the most successful at what you do, but where you're in more humble beginnings, whatever it is,
right?
The hunger there to replicate that once the benefits all come is one of the mentally most difficult things for a human to do, because I know this just because I see so many people fail at it. Look at sports. I had John Borick on here, who's worked in sports as a broadcaster his entire life, and he said it best. He's like, "Tell me how many of these guys play up to the contract they get."
None of them.
He's like, not none of them, but most of them don't.
Right.
Because there's, you start off, you're working for 20 years, and then you get the contract, and there's not. I don't care what you think. There's not that ultimate carrot and a stick of, oh, I got to jump over the line and make it, that's there anymore. It's gone. So it takes a really rare person. It takes somebody with the mentality of a Michael, a Kobe, a Tom Brady, a LeBron in a different way than those guys. He's built a little differently. But you see these things where it's like they constantly create a new carrot, and they're able to separate the things that come with it. And they're able to separate the fact that, maybe they were sleeping on a shitty cot 10 years ago, but now they're sleeping on a beautiful king bed with, they're sleeping on an 8-sleep mattress.
Right.
And just like Hagler was saying, that quote you had with the silk pajamas, there's that level of discipline and structure that certain guys are able to just create the white lines, and when they step over that line, they find a way to just make sure they take that step every day and they don't lose it. But it is a rare thing.
Of course, generational athletes. Period.
Yeah.
They're generational. Like they don't. They're one in every how many? You know what I mean? Like they don't come around often, but when they do, we gotta cherish their existence. That's why I think Kobe's death hit hard.
Yeah.
I'm a big Jordan guy. Big Jordan sneaker guy. I think Jordan, what he did for the game and what he did for young adults is just spectacular. Bro, I watched the fucking Last Dance. You want to talk about running through a fucking wall.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. This guy was an animal. Like one of the greatest quotes. Like, and I related it to my loss. He says, I never lost a game. I just ran out of time. And I said to myself, everybody kept telling me. I got beat up 1 and 2, came back in 3, and won 4. Whatever it might have been. I never cared to watch the fight. I didn't watch the fight. I'm going from the outsiders looking in, and my dad said it. If that was a 6-round fight, you would have won.
Oh, 100%. And I started to say this earlier, but then you were going off, and I didn't want to go back. But maybe 15 minutes after the fight, you were still in the back. The lead judge, came up to Lou.
Yeah.
And he was like, we wanted to give him the fight. It was right there to fucking give it to him. He's like, he was just too far off. He was a little too far off all night. But he's like, like, that fight goes longer. He's winning that fight. And we wanted to give it to him in 4 because you hung the fuck in there. The problem was the one thing that never changed was the punches weren't landing.
He landed the power. He whatever. He was shifty. He was like a mixed martial arts, whatever the fuck it was, bro. Like, it is what it is. But like, back to like the whole generational athlete thing, like that April fight that I was supposed to fight in when the pandemic hit, like I probably could pull it up right now on my phone. I definitely had a Kobe design for the trunks. I was wearing the purple and the gold. Like, Kobe's our Jordan, right? Like, because we're a little young for Jordan, you know, because Jordan 96, 97 was it.
97, 98. He came back with the Wizards, but it wasn't,
You know what I'm saying.
I was
like,
too young.
The three-peat, like I'm Jordan 96, 97, and then 98. So I was 10 years old, bro. Like, we were just talking about before. I don't remember until I was like fucking... Yeah, do I remember Ewing and Houston and Starks and fucking Mark Johnson at the foul line like this? Yeah. But can I tell you anything inspirational or anything that they did? Nah, I can't. So for us... 30, gotta be 33. How old are you, Jewel?
28.
God damn. Fucking old man, bro. Anyways, Kobe's the guy. You know what I mean? The Mamba. That was our guy. So I definitely did, I was gonna wear, I still might. I'm supposed to fight in October, but we're gonna keep it at that. So I might do the whole breast cancer thing. I always wanted to do the black and pink and give the gloves to a couple of breast cancer survivors. Let them know, like, they're the real fighters, like what we do here. Like, bro, this is all awesome. Motivational for me. Yeah. Every last bit of it. At the end of the day, if I don't got to spin my pliers one more time and I can just take my boxing career, obviously to another level, I'd love to. But if I can go talk in front of fucking auditoriums full of adolescent fucking kids and tell them don't fuck up and don't do what I did, I would love to do that, bro. Keep kids off the streets. Don't get jammed up. All that kind of stuff. I would love to do that.
What did you want to do with your life when you were young? When you were like 17, 18?
Bro, it's so funny. When I was like 17, I gave up on school. I just said, I'm going to go be a union worker. I'm going to be a fucking iron worker. I'm going to be a machine operator, diesel mechanic, electrician, plumber, whatever. And I followed that. I pursued that. And I mastered that quick. And I'm just like, wasn't enough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just wasn't. I mean, career change, right?
Yeah.
So I think you know that pretty well. You know, it's like I look back now and, like I look at all these things all the time. Like, how many times has your dad or your parents said, like, trust me, I know, kid. Listen to me. I'm your old man. Listen to me. Fuck you. What do you know? I catch myself all the time, like 12 years later now, 15 years later, I look at my dad and like something happens. I'm like, man, shut up. Like, you were right. Like, that's it. Done. I'm telling you one time. You were right. Let it go. You know what I mean? But I tell myself all the time, I tell my kids, keep your nose clean. Don't fuck up. Don't go to jail. Be a firefighter. I'll teach you the rest. Go be a firefighter. Stay physically fit. Get your pension, work for the government, Be a first responder.
What if they want to do something else?
Let them do what they want to do. But I'm just saying, if I could redo my life, I would go be a my kid goes and becomes a firefighter. Both my boys, Bronx and Junior, go be firefighters. I'll teach them electric, plumbing, whatever they want to know. Come on, man, no cake.
Yeah.
In and out. Get the bag.
How do you balance? Because that's kind of a separate point too. But you know, you do well at your job, and you also you're very good at it. I know you don't like. I see a lot of love when you get to do like some crazy projects, which is usually like your side shit.
Right.
But like the actual day to day, it's not. You're doing specific things as needed, so it's not like, oh, this is the most exciting thing in the world. So for you. You do have the balance, though, of like you provide for your whole family,
right?
And that is the source of it's been the source of main income, and yet you went and took this up. So was there ever like the balance in your head of like, all right, well, push comes to shove. If I got to make a choice here, I'm gonna have to do what I've always been doing because that's what's putting food on the table.
Yeah, I mean, see, it's funny that you say that too because it was like I was at a point where I was trying to find a way to take on a night role at work, to focus more. I would get so depressed and down. Like, my coach hit me up, hey, yo, we going for some real good sparring out in the Bronx. Can you come? One time I could make it. Another time, like, yo, we're going here. We're going to Gary Stark's gym in Staten Island. We're moving with this one, that one, this one, that one. I'm like, fuck. Like, granted, like, I probably shouldn't be in the ring with these people, but guess what?
You want to be.
They want me to, and I want to be. You're going to get faster running with somebody that's slow, or you're going to get faster running with somebody that's faster than you. Period. Just how it goes. I want to be better. So, there was like a point where I was like, maybe I'll take on this night job, be the night guy, and like I can go train during the day. But
holy shit, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I don't know how you did what you did because, like, here's another thing, and
I'm doing it right now.
You're doing it again. I'm saying, like, this is worth saying. When you want to go after something, like anything that's worth getting, which all of it's hard, no matter what it is. I'm a huge believer. You got to throw your whole force into it. You can't. Absolutely. You can't have anything else behind it. Yeah. You are a very rare exception, and I'm not just saying this. Like, it is true, and the proof is in the pudding as to what you've done. Where you managed to maintain doing your main job. I don't know when the fuck you slept, but you managed to do that, and you went and trained more and harder than most of the guys who train all day and do nothing else.
Right.
That's. I mean, did you ever like burn out from that?
Yeah, I mean, they're just. Sometimes you just get like emotional and you're like, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it and stuff. And you're like, you know what? I got a job. I got a job that's got to get done. You know what I mean? Like, there's times where I'll be like, you know what? Fuck this. And I just want ice cream or like something like that. And granted, like my weight is completely under control. If there is one thing that neither one of my coaches ever bothered me with, is my weight. That's under control. My diet, my weight, my supplements, I got that.
Your diet's insane.
Yeah. And because I want it to be that way. Why the fuck do you want to train your whole camp, be 20 pounds heavy and cut it off the last 2 weeks? Hell no. I want to train at the weight that I'm going to fucking fight at. Now, if I take off 10 pounds of water, 12 pounds of water, which is fine, the last 2-3 weeks of camp to make weight for the fight, I didn't make the rules. I just follow them. Right now, I'll be 100% honest with you. Right now, I'm walking. I can't tell you what I'm waking up at, which I'm probably waking up dry at like 172, 173. That was always my camp weight in the morning and after the gym. Right now, I'm at my camp weight when I leave the gym and I shed all that water off. Now, I'm flirting with the idea, like, do I go back to 60? Can I hang at 68? I'm fucking tired, Joel. Like, I don't know that I can get to 60 again because I had a hard time getting to 60. The one time I got below 60, I lost.
It was that one.
That was 58.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Dude, but it's
So
almost,
I'm-
it's
I'm
weird to look at because you're like,
Yeah.
even when you got down to those weights, because every time you weighed in, you were sub 160, so it was similar to all of them.
Right,
Like at
right.
your height and with your muscle mass,
Right.
there's no
They
fat. Got to be squeezing to find like one cell of fat.
Yeah, so I'd like to say that I'm gonna fight at 168, super middleweight, but I'm which gives me some room too. Like my coach Kev, I said, let's just put some stakes on my legs because I told you before, I could squat every fucking day and I'll never grow an ass or a fucking set of thighs. I don't know what the hell it is, but
Yeah.
I need to sit on my punches a little more. So, something that I'm working on. I just came from working with a great trainer over here at New Legends Boxing, like I was saying. And again, I was just expressing how I want to sit on my backhand more. So until I do have room, if I wanted to put 6 pounds on and like only take off 8 pounds, like that's perfect. I don't really feel like if I'm walking around this lean right now to go down to 60, those guys that walk around and take 15 pounds off, they ain't walking around like me.
No.
They're not. You know what I mean? Like, I stay on my diet. Do I cheat? Do I eat on Sundays? Of course. My mother makes meatballs and macaroni. What am I supposed to do? For real. Like, that's my thing. You know what I mean? But I only do it once a week. Like, I don't really fuck around. I want ice cream. Okay, have the ice cream. Well, tell you what. You better get up in the morning and run.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, you're a fucking loser. That's what I tell myself. So it's a lot of mental grit and a lot of mental toughness, bro.
Well, it's also like anything else too. It's a matter of intake and outtake.
Sure.
How much are you putting, and that's why like different sport, definitely
Right.
a different setup. But like if you ever looked at Michael Phelps' old diet,
Yeah, he's a monster, bro.
oh bro, he ate everything, and it was because of the way
bong rips. Yeah.
yeah, that too. But it was because of that's probably why he was eating all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But it was because of the way he was training.
Sure.
So it was like, well, I gotta eat 8,000 calories
Right.
in order just to like survive because I'm
Right.
burning fucking
Right.
10,000 a day.
Right.
And it's another example of it's different strokes, different
Sure.
folks, but a lot of guys. Like you stay regimented throughout, I guess, like 6 days of your week completely, and
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
exactly every type of thing. It's not just like how many calories are in this. I'm eating this type of food at this time, and a lot of guys, like even at the highest levels, which I
Right.
almost don't understand today, but they can't do that, or it's not that they can't, they don't.
They don't have the will.
They don't.
It's willpower, bro.
Now here's
What did I show up here with?
a fucking prepared meal.
That I have to eat on the way home.
Yep, at a certain time. I think you said like 4:45 or
And
something.
there's also a meal replacement shake in my backpack at all times in case. When I get hungry, I'm hungry every 3 hours.
Yeah.
I eat at 6:30, 9:30, 12:30, 3 o'clock before the gym, 3 to 3:30 before the gym when I get home from the gym. Filling with snacks around. But like,
You're running at 4 a.m. You're
up,
training.
bro.
You're training
I'm up at
all
4.
afternoon.
The alarm's at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
4 o'clock. Boom. Out of bed. Boom. Triple S. Chit, chow, shave, right? And then it's on the road. Lace them up. Go for a run. Come back. Change. Go to work.
I always did say, and like, my literal like favorite thing to do just like on a daily basis is work out. It's the ultimate stress release. It's like, it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And that's why like this last year what you and I were talking about, like not having that is just fucking brutal.
Yeah, it
And
kills you inside.
I can't wait to
Right,
have that again. I
right.
can't wait to throw around iron and do everything. But I always would say to myself, because I was good as far as like on the weekends I ate what I wanted. I went out, I drank whatever the fuck I wanted. But
Which is fine. Which is fine.
Dude, I
Yeah.
stayed in good shape
Sure.
and regimented. And the one thing I could never understand is I'm like, bro, I was a far below average athlete. Like that, I'm not saying never, but it probably wasn't going to happen for me to go to the next level on something. But if I were paid
Yeah.
to play a sport
Right. You'd give it
that
fucking
required me
everything.
to stay in shape,
Right.
I'll eat whatever the fuck you tell me to eat.
100%.
Like, and that's why I get you with that.
100%.
I don't understand why other guys are not like that. Like, there's nothing worse than when I see tweets from like pro athletes like eating fucking Taco Bell.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like you're gifted with all this shit.
Right.
And like you are paid millions of dollars.
Well, it just went to their head.
It just
Went
blows
to their
my
head.
mind. I'm not saying you can't do that once in a while. I'm saying like when you see guys regularly doing it.
Listen, I get it. I get it completely. It's just not so much willpower, but it is. There's some will there. There's some fucking hunger. You gotta want it, bro. Reach out and grab it. You gotta believe. Sky's the limit.
Did you replace some of that though from like when you were a kid? Because like you kind of dreamed of being a football player, not a boxer, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I definitely like playing ball. I don't know. I don't think my dreams were ever to really. Every kid that plays football growing up says, "Oh, I want to go to the NFL." Every kid that grows up playing basketball, "Oh, I want to go to the NBA." And that's what I go and talk to these kids about, bro. It's like, don't doubt yourself because you ain't starting. Put in that fucking work. It ain't over. Look at like, as cliche as it sounds, like Rudy Rudiger, whatever the fuck his name was. Like,
Yeah.
bro, like, the work ethic speaks for itself. I will stress it again. There are some of the most talented athletes in the world out there that do not apply themselves. And look where it gets them. Nowhere.
Simple shit though, like the Rudy story. He got to play in like one game, but it lived forever. You know, he's a legend. You know, even before the movie. And I can't.
There is, to cut
ahead.
you short,
Yeah.
there is one thing that would stop me from boxing.
What's that?
If I ever got to walk out of the tunnel at Madison Square Garden in front of my father and I won the fight and people close to me asked me to hang it up, I would. Then I could say, hang the gloves up, and then say I did it. You know what I mean? If that ever came to that point, like if there was like a card that I could get on at Madison Square Garden, and I'm getting up there in age, and I'm 35, and I'm fucking 10-1, and I got a lot in the tank, but people are like, you know, man, you got 2 kids, like, enough.
Do you get that? Like, because you mentioned
Of course.
during the pandemic where you went and got your head checked because of something else as it turned out to be, but like the people close to you always asking you about.
Just be careful, they tell me. Yeah, be careful, be careful. Are you sure? Be careful, you know? Wearing the best headgear in boxing, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be all right. I'm resilient. You know? That is the one thing for me that I'd have no problem. I'd have no problem hanging the gloves up if I did that. But it's got to be the Garden. Too long watching.
And your dad's got to be there.
Has to be there. Has to walk out with me.
You're very close with your dad.
I am. I never was. I think because,
really?
Yeah. Yeah. I loved him. Of course, my fucking father. He's the man. You know what I mean? He's just a fucking cake-loving Jewish man. You know, my dad's a Russian Jew and my mom is a full-blown Guinea. Like, weird. They say the Jews and the Italians is like same corporation, different division. Yeah. So
upper and lower, man.
Yeah, it's same people. So my dad came up tough. You know what I mean? Like, they had money when he was a kid, but my dad went to Ithaca. He was going to play some basketball. And first break for Thanksgiving, right? When you go to college, your first break is Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Yeah, his cousins picked him up. His dad passed away. And guess what? You got to go to work. So his dream was ripped out from underneath him. This guy works his ass off, bro. I mean, ever since I was a kid, where's Dad? He worked 9 to 9. He was in fucking retail. He got into what they call in the Jews, he got into the schmata business, and he sold suits. He had his own store in Bayonne for a while, you know, and he was kind of a street kid. He grew up in Passaic, tough nosed guy, you know. All his cousins grew up around there. They had a paint store in Passaic. His father was in the same thing, in the suit business, but like the era was different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My grandmother didn't work, and then she worked at the same place for like 35 years or 40 years. She died there. Had a heart attack and died in the fucking place, smoking a cigarette outside. So It's like growing up, I always saw like work, 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 work. That's all I knew. My wife holds it against me. That's all I know. So when you relate that to the boxing gym, why do you work so hard in the boxing gym? Well, I don't know. I don't know any other fucking way to do it. My dad used to work.
That explains a lot.
A lot.
A lot. Like what we were talking about way
work.
earlier.
That's it. Work. That's all I know how to do. Work. Whether it's related to electric or it's related to what I do as a blue collar man or in the boxing gym, work. Never quit. Never cancel.
What about the value of it though? Like I'm kind of wondering because like I'm thinking about your backstory and like the bumps in the road along the way.
Sure.
But like the way you ended up phrasing it that was perfect that I couldn't get out earlier was like you can't sit still kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
so like when I guess my question is when you're sitting still, the edge that we talked about is like. It's coming from if I'm not doing anything, I must be doing something. And so you fill it with whatever's right there. And whatever's right there might be something that's enjoyment and not work. And then it's not positive.
So like tomorrow, I don't have to work. I am. Because I walk out that fucking door knowing there's all that money out there. I got to go get it, bro.
Yeah. We
said it. I'll say it again. That got to get the bag, man. I can't do this forever. I can't box forever. I can't spin my pliers forever and have the type of money that I want to have. You know, I gotta work. And growing up, like that's like I said, my dad worked 6 days a week. My mom worked 6 days a week. They lived paycheck to paycheck, but they got me here. They got me through it.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I knew. There was a point in time where my dad would never show up to my sporting events. Like he would never miss a football game on a Friday night. He would make sure he didn't work Friday nights. But then with like wrestling, I remember, it's like, oh, don't tell him Marty's here. I'm like, what? Dad's here? Beep. Pinned. Done. Because it was like such an excitement. It was such a thrill for me that my dad was there and I couldn't perform in front of my dad. So now it's like with boxing, it's so big for me. It's like, make sure Pops is, front row. You know what I mean? And I say, when I leave the ring, my wife would actually get upset about it. Like not to throw under the bus or anything like that, but she has gotten upset over the fact that like the first person I see when I come out of the ring, my dad comes up to me. So you never come up to me, you never come to me and see your kids. I'm like, I'm not at that moment. Like that's not just where I'm at. Like when I walk out of that ring, whether I just got the shit beat out of me, or I just beat the shit out of somebody, it's like my mind, everything's like still a blur. You know what I mean? Like I come down those steps, the doctor checks you out. Let me just take it back to the locker room. My dad, nah, fuck that. He's standing right there, comes right up to me, gives me a kiss, and then move on, you know? But like my parents never had it easy, you know? I grew up, you know, you came from a really nice family. I came from a really nice family as well, but like, you know, financially, like, did you know what a tow truck coming to your house at 3 o'clock in the morning was for?
Nope.
Yeah, that's a repossession. You know, shit like that. We never owned a house. We always rented. So like buying a house for me this year, this was like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So like these little things are just coming, they're just coming full circle later in life for me.
Seems like a lot of what you do, like it's obviously trying to prove something to yourself, prove stuff to other people too, who may think less of you than they should or doubt you at certain things, whatever it is. But also there's a lot of it that's like, you know, you clearly at a young age recognize the work ethic in your parents and recognize what the life they gave you. Definitely. You know, they put food on the table and everything, and now it's like you want to, like that little kid thing. Your dad wasn't an absent father at all, but like he had to work a lot too. So now you have a chance to make him proud and him be there, right there to watch it.
I mean, something that I'm dealing with right now, like a real life situation. I'm not, you know, we'll touch on it, but you know, Tara and I have some differences, you know, where you're never around, you never do this, you never do that, you're in the gym, you do this, you're always working. You want the house renovated, right? You want, like, that's my mentality.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that that's the perfect mentality to have.
Sure.
But it's the mentality that Zach has, because when Zach grew up and moved from fucking house to house to house to house, your parents had to work. Period. There is no savings account still to this day for them. They work for everything that they fucking have. Everything. I didn't go to Disney until I was 31. People ask me all the time, how many times you been to Disney? How many times I've been to Disney? I ain't been to Disney. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? I went to Disney with my mother-in-law, my son Junior, and Tara. And that was right after my October fight with the fucking Raccoon Eyes. We went for Mickey's Not So Spooky Halloween. So I think that coming up in a household like that, you know, here's another to add to it. Why am I obsessed with Jordans? Growing up, I had a $39 budget for sneakers. Because I graduated high school 2006. You can't get a buttered roll and a coffee for fucking $39.
I don't think you could get Shaqs for $39 in 06.
Well, what did you just say?
I don't think you could get Shaqs for $39 in 06.
I thought you said Chucks, because that's an inspirational part of a tattoo on my body. I thought you said Chucks.
Chucks.
Chuck Taylors.
I don't even know about those.
Converse?
No.
Converse Chuck Taylors?
No.
Like white-toed old school?
Oh, the regular...
Converse.
Yeah, the regular ones.
Well, Converses were worn by Chuck Taylor in the NBA. Like, that was your original basketball shoe. And growing up, that's what my dad wore. He wore Chucks. My dad was a big basketball player. He wore Chucks. You know, Chuck E. T's, baby. He wore the Converse Chuck E. T's, black with the white toe. I wore them to my wedding.
No shit.
Yeah, we all wore them to the wedding. I had a pair of Jordans to wear, but they looked a little... I'd order Manischewitz, but it won't look good on my face. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So I'd show you, but I have a Converse tattoo.
I've seen that tattoo
on the back of my calf, and it's inspirational for me because instead of Chuck Taylor, it says Marty Dubnoff for my dad.
Really?
Yeah. So that's like my dad tattoo.
That's cool.
Yeah. Converse All-Star on the back. I'm like, yo, what are you? You're fucking corny as hell. What are you, like emo or something? Nah, yo, that's from my pops. Why? I used to get sneakers for $39 growing up. You couldn't even get the Converse. They were $50. Marshalls, on sale, Sneaker Stadium, something, whatever it was. Am I complaining? No. But then when I started working and getting money, you know damn well I wanted the J's. So now I got...
That's a good vice.
I got a lot of fucking J's, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't wear them. I wear them to my fights. That's what I do. It's like my thing. Like, I feel like that's my thing. That's my moment to shine. I'm going to wear my Jordans, put my fucking jewelry on, and go do my thing. That's like my thing. You know? Like, I feel good. I wear my sweatsuits with my logo on it and put my Jordans on, and that's it. And that, you know, seeing everybody wear the Kid logo, like, that's like...
It's a great nickname.
Yeah.
Zach the Kid Dubnoff.
You know, it came from like multiple places, multiple reasons. So I was always friends with like some older guys, and then I was really good friends with these two guys, Jimmy and Tommy. Fucking Tommy. Tommy the fucking plumber.
How's he doing?
Next question. Mink, yeah. They would always call me, hey, kid. And I'm in a boxing gym with Lou. Hey, kid. And
He
then
called
it's like,
everyone kid.
He did.
However,
something screwed up here.
No, you got it?
Yeah, I got it. Turning pro at such a late age. Lou's like, you know, you're great for the image, kid. Yeah, you look good. Everything's right. You know, remember, we got to sell you. We got to sell Zach. You know what I mean, kid? You think of a nickname yet? I go, you just said it.
The Kid?
He's like, what? I go, the Kid. No, come on. I'm just calling you kid. I call everybody kid. Tell him, I said, yeah, but you don't understand. I'm old, but I'm still a fucking kid. I'm just a kid living a dream right now, right? Yeah. So,
it's a simple name too.
I'm the
love
kid.
That.
That's it. Call me kid.
You never forget it.
Nah.
You never forget it. Someone hears that Zach the Kid Dubnoff.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, I'm the kid.
It's locked.
So it's there. That's why I got it. It's like a plaque on my leg now. Nobody can ever take it away from me. Some days since I've had it, and I've only had it for not so long, you know, you start having a bad day in the gym. You're like, fuck, man. You just look down. You're like, let's go. That's right. That's who I am. You know what I mean? We don't quit.
You know, and I don't want to. I'm always careful, and I remind people the cameras are rolling too, so we don't go anywhere that people don't want to go. But you mentioned it a couple times, and like kind of the back and forth of like your mentality with everything and that with you and Tara. But it's different in every relationship I've ever witnessed, whether it be, husband and wife or even just like close friendships that people have where like some shit gets a little tough and people can't see eye to eye. But I definitely see a pattern with you that I actually identify a lot with myself too. So maybe that's why I can see it. But like, you're such a clear affirmation guy. And we said this about something else earlier, but it works both ways with the fact that like, you grew up seeing a way that things are done to provide, to build a family, to do the whole thing. And you had such a great example. And the best example within that, perhaps, was the fact that there's a work ethic and you work. That's what we do.
Right.
And so it's very hard when you're built in with that kind of attitude, which is a positive attitude growing up. It's very hard to have other people around you, let alone your wife, not quite see the world that way, because then when they don't, it's kind of like they're not validating you, and they're not trying to do that. But like, to an extent, you're going out and you're doing exactly what you think you're supposed to do. You're providing, you're going after dreams too. You're setting structure in your life. You're setting an example. Absolutely. And so a part of you is like, with anyone, whether it be your wife, whether it be your friends, like it seems like everyone to an extent has not totally seen it that way with you. It's almost like you're saying to yourself, oh, but I'm doing all this good shit. Why aren't you seeing that?
Right. I mean, you're right. It has a lot to do with the way you grow up. So the easiest way to say it is, I love my mom. I love my dad. So mom, dad, when you hear this, if you are going to hear this, don't take this the wrong way, but like we grew up broke, bro. Like it sucked. Like, did we live in a nice town? Yeah, we did. That's part of the reason why we were fucking broke. Like, we moved all over the place and ended up landing. My grandmother got a beautiful townhouse in Montville, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. Wonderful fucking town to live in.
Great town. And
I remember I was in 4th grade. I remember staying there, using that address to go to school. As much as my mom says, no. I'm not dumb. Like, you ain't got nothing to hide no more. Like, whatever. Like, it's cool. Like, you did it to better me.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for from a parent? Period.
That's it.
But that mentality sometimes to girls, women this day and age, it doesn't work, so to speak.
And you could see why they don't mean anything by that either.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. So
it comes from a good place.
We grew up broke. You got Rice Krispies. I got crispy rice. I always joke about it. My dad goes, I liked it better. What do you want from me? All right, Dad. It fucking kills me to pay these jerk-offs $5 for a box of cereal. You get this for $2.59. My dad used to give me a hard time all the time because he was in the schmata business. He'd give me a hard time. What are you buying this shit for? It cost him $3 to make this in China. Like he's a real-life good fella. You know what I mean? Like he's a real-life Jewish good fella. I'm like, this has to be a movie right now. Like, you know what I mean? And coming up like that, I started doing things which I'm sure you want to touch on this, so we can go there a little bit.
Touch on what?
My arrest history and stuff that I did that was probably stemmed from not having money growing up. Not being able to just go into the bank account and be like, Mom, I want to do this. All right, here you go. Here's $500. Oh, Mom, I want to do this to my car. I want to put rims on my car. Oh, here, do it. Here's a credit card. You gotta remember, I grew up in a town, bro. I came up in a town where it was a lot of money. I wanted gas in my car. I had to work, buy a car, and then put gas in it. Mm-hmm. Right? It wasn't like I had mommy and daddy's Valero card or American Express or anything like that. Like, I didn't have none of that. So I started selling drugs. You know what I mean? We'd go out, we'd start partying and stuff like that. And I was actually, none of it was during high school. I got into all that shit after high school. I graduated high school, I was 17 years old. And I got into the union. but I didn't get in until I was 18. Then I started going out using my brother's ID. My brother's 30. God forbid me, Aaron. I forget this shit all the time. I think he's 38, 37. We're like 4.5 years apart or something like that. He's born in 84. I'm 88. For like 4.5 years.
Okay.
So I'm 17, graduated high school. I turned 18. Now, boom, I got this ID from my brother, who we look nothing alike.
Yeah, you guys don't.
It's expired. There's a hole punched in it, and I'm still making this work.
How are you making an ID work with a hole punch in it?
I sell water to a fucking well, bro. All right? So it's like I'm doing all this stuff. I'm going out to these clubs.
By the way, just real fast, just want to say, because I know you got to go in a little bit, so we can't stop. But if people are hearing a buzz in the background, it's because we're on a Friday afternoon right now, and that's when the fucking lawnmower comes, and it's close enough to the studio that it actually gets picked up. So just bear with me, people.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
So, well, we got 10 minutes. So,
yeah.
So here it was. Next thing you know, I'm going to these big places. I'm going to Sandbar, Surf Club, Neptunes, DJs, Pasha.
What were you selling?
Coke, ketamine, ecstasy, guns.
Good stuff.
Anything that gets you high.
Oh, you were selling
park.
guns.
I sold a gun, yeah. Yeah.
Damn. So
I thought my shit didn't stink. I'm like, whatever, yo. I'm this 6'3" white kid from fucking Montville. Like, I'm untouchable, bro. You can't touch me. You know who the fuck I am? And sure as shit, I just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. To the point where, like, I'm walking into Pasha. I'm 18. With my brother's ID, pulling me to the side, running me down, bro. Everyone's walking in getting frisked. Me, I'm butt-ass naked. Meanwhile, I'm looking at him just smiling like the fucking smart ass I was, with my sunglasses on. Like, meanwhile, my girl's walking in with fucking 200 pills and 100 jars stuffed in her boofed.
Come on.
Yeah. I used to go there with no money, 200 pills, 100 jars, and I'd leave fucked up out of my mind all night in VIP with $5,000. Then I got hooked up with the wrong kids, and the Bergen County Drug Enforcement Agency built a case against me, and it was I was supposed to go with Tara to a movie when we first met. I was doing a job down in Patterson, and I was working on a house, doing the electric in a house, and this guy called me. This guy kept calling me. He was undercover, and I kept doing deals with him. From the rip, this guy wanted 1,000 pills, bro. From the rip, this guy wanted a G-Pack. I never gave it to him. I sold him a 100-pack, 300, 500, 100, 300. Yo, I sold this guy a lot of drugs. Then he calls me one day. Yo, Zach, you can get the ratchet? Like, you taking this to a whole nother level now, my man. Like, you really want a burner? Yeah. Let me make a call. I make a call. I call him up. Meet me at so-and-so. We meet. Now, this is where I was stupid. I was a Patterson kid through and through.
How old were you?
I was 18 years old, man. I was a Patterson kid through and through. As far as, like, selling drugs and all that stuff. Like, I went to the strip clubs in Patterson. I picked up the drugs in Patterson. I hung out bars in Patterson. Everybody I ran with was from Patterson. And I make a call. I meet my boy. So everywhere he would want to meet me, I never put two and two together. Was just over the border from Patterson into Fairlawn. He's like, come on, man. I'm a Bergen County guy. You coming from Patterson. Let's just meet. I'll make it quick for you. Let's just meet in Fairlawn right over the border. I just don't like going to P-Town, yo. I don't like going to P-Town. Spanish guy. Watch this guy. I sold him drugs in the club. I watched him take 3 pills on a flop. Now, if he actually put them down his socket, I don't know.
Some of them do.
But when I tell you, I watched him say, all right, I got you. 3 Toyotas in his hand, right in his mouth.
Some of them do.
Then hear me out. I sell him 100, 200, 300, 400. No, I'm still standing. Yo, Zach, you get the ratchet? Meet me over here. My boy breaks the gun. Yeah, here you go. All right, man.
What do you mean breaks the gun?
He broke the slide on the gun so you could never hurt somebody with it. We sold him a broken gun. Listen, I'm stupid, but I ain't that fucking dumb.
Right.
I don't know this guy that well. Breaks the slide, whatever, sell him the gun. So I've sold this guy probably collectively 700 pills. I've now sold him a 9mm handgun. I'm like, my man legit. You would think, right? Like a cop would come, like you just sold the guy the hammer.
Yeah.
You would think that's it. Once you sell that fucking martillo, it's over. It kept going. He hits me up 2 weeks later. What about the G-Pack, yo? Am I verified? I'll make a call. I want two G-Packs. Let me see what I could do.
Isn't this entrapment, technically?
I don't fucking know. It's gone and over with. It's done. I'll never fucking pursue it.
Yeah.
He calls me up. He wants 2 G-Packs. We only had 1,500. I think I told him it was 1,500. It was really 14. Whatever the fuck it was. 1,500 pills. I go, yeah, let's do it right now. He goes, all right. Blockbuster. Fair Lawn. Right over the border. I go meet my boy downtown. Gets in the car. Let's go. I got a shopping bag full of fucking pills, yo. I'm in basketball shorts, a white t-shirt, and fucking sneakers. In my dad's Ford Taurus. I'm like, all right, you stay right here. He's like, all right, man, I'm going to go on the Blockbuster. Yo, do your thing, get back in the car, let's ride. Like, let's in and out and we slide. Okay. Guy had a fucking mint green Range Rover. I get in. He's parked like in the corner, you know. That's a parking spot surrounded by a wall of fucking arborvitae, trees. I get in the car, man. I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, all right, bro, here you go. Boom. Yellow ShopRite bag. 1,500 ecstasy pills. I see. He's like, all right. He opens it up. He verifies it. I see his knee pump. He pumps the brakes 3 times. Oh, you fuck my nanjugats. Knock them out. I hit him fucking right there. I jump out of the car. I jump through the bushes. Boom! They tackled me. That was it. Done.
Oh, my God.
Wham, bam, I'm in the can, yo. $750,000 bail. I got arrested with 1,500 ecstasy pills and a 9mm handgun.
Holy shit. And you were 19 or 18?
I was 18.
Holy fuck.
I might have been 19 at that point. I think I was 19 at that point. I don't even, that fucking part of my life, bro, is such a blur to me now.
You just left it behind me, I guess, after that.
You have to.
Yeah.
Cry myself to sleep every night. You know what it's like calling your mother collect from the joint? I hope not. There you go. Yup. Started doing crazy shit. Running with the wrong people. Thinking you're fucking tough. Thinking because you're wearing a certain color like you're tough. Like, what are you doing, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, like, you ain't tough. But you think, like, that's how I am now. That made me who the fighter that I am today. Like, what, you think you're tough? Like, I'll probably say something you won't even understand it. But, like, for all you people out there that do, like, what, do you think you're tough because you know you're 10 and 10s and you wear a certain color? Fuck you, man. Get in the ring. Period. I fear no man. I fear nothing. It's written on my stomach in Latin. I fear nothing. I've been to hell and back. My roller coaster is now back on its rise. And I'm going to stay up there. I'm going to stay happy. I'm going to stay. You get one life. I'm going to live it. I did all that negative shit. You know, I'm still standing. So no man in a boxing ring is that's my mentality, you know? It's like you might be the best athlete in the world. You might be the best boxer in the world. I may not be the best boxer. I may not be the best fighter. I may not be the best athlete. But I'm going to tell you right now, bro, I'm tough as fucking nails. And there's you got to be one bad motherfucker to end my career. Because I treat my boxing career like my life now. And it's like it's like reclaimed it almost. You know, that and like the birth of my kids. It's like I feel that I need to keep doing this to show my kids. Like Bronx never saw me fight, and this is a big deal for me, this fight. I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to hug him and kiss him. I used to give my chains to Junior when I fought. I'd go out to the ring and Junior would wear my my chains when I fought, and that was like a big piece for me. Every time I'm climbing up the steps of the ring, you know, I tap my heart, kiss to the sky for each kid, for my wife, you know, and I got to add one in there for Bronx. And, you know, I wear 2 chains around my neck, and I'll make sure each kid has one on that, God forbid, something did go wrong for me in there. But that's it. That's my life in a nutshell. That's the kid. I'm a two-time convicted drug dealer. I'm a 2-time convicted drug dealer, electrician, husband, father, pro boxer. Say something.
It's your story, man.
That's it, bro. That's all I got for you.
You know what? If we sat there and touched all that, we'd be in here for another 2 hours, 3 hours.
2 hours. We need fucking 2 days.
Yeah, probably a lot longer. So that leaves a good TBD. But
I'll be back. Let's do it again.
We will do it again.
After the fight.
It was after the fight.
Yeah.
It was nice. Nice is the wrong word, but it was pretty powerful to sit back and listen to that, because I've never heard that. I never asked you that story.
You know what? I keep it. I don't tell a lot, especially on like these platforms, because it's like respect from my parents. You know. So the other thing, real quick, before I gotta go,
you turned it. I do want to say though, like,
turns it around.
I love comebacks. I love people who get kicked in the ass, especially by their own doing, and fuck up.
Yeah.
But then do some special shit, and you've done that, and you didn't never. And by the way, you had never known that about you. You would have never guessed that. I remember I heard about it, and I never asked you.
Yeah.
And then I didn't need to know anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's not. You were 18, 19, 20, 21 when this shit was happening. Yo. That's a different life.
Yeah. It's everybody. When my first son was born, Junior. This will be what I'm going to leave you with. Everybody asked me, like, why do you want a Junior? Why do you want to name him Junior? And Tara, she said to me, the birth certificate came, she's still spread eagle on the table, you know what I mean? Getting sewn up, all that shit. And the nurse hands me the birth certificate to fill out his name. The paperwork, not the birth certificate, that comes from the state, whatever. And I looked at her, and she knows what I want. She knows I want a Junior. She knows I want a Zachary Ryan Dubnoff Jr. And she goes, if you do that, I name the next kid, you get your one chance, this is it, and then everything's to you. And I said, okay. And I named him Zachary Ryan Dubnoff Jr. And everybody would keep asking me, why did you want a Junior? Why do you want a Junior? Why do you want a Junior? I'm going to tell you why. Because when you look up my name and you look up him, I just want to make him a better version of me. I just want him to be the best goddamn version of Zachary Dubnoff he can be. That's all I ask for. He's mine. I get to go back to go. You know, I get to go start over. I want to make sure he doesn't make the same mistakes that I do. And then now I was blessed with another beautiful boy, whom my wife named, and he is a bad motherfucker, bro.
His name is the Bronx. You better be a bad motherfucker.
He's tough as hell. He's the boogie down Bronxer, man.
That's awesome.
That's all I got for you, Jules.
Zach, that was awesome, man.
Cool, bro.
It was awesome.
Pleasure being here.
Thanks for putting that out there. Pleasure to have you.
For sure.
I missed you. It's been too long.
Nah, for sure.
And I'm pumped to see you back, man.
Listen, go. Come back camp.
Dude,
follow me on social media.
Yeah, I'll put those links in.
Definitely,
the bio
for sure. Make sure everybody, big shout out to my coaches, you know, Coach O, Strap City Boxing Club, Kevin Peterson, Mean Nation. You know, I work hand in hand with my buddy Cornflake. Yep. I heard everybody say Cornflake, Tommy Cornflake Lamana with Rising Star Promotions and stuff.
He's like a great fighter too.
Cornflake,
great pro fighter.
Technical, skilled. He's a veteran.
Yeah,
a veteran in the game. You know, you want to talk, you want to get somebody on here that really will shoot the shit about boxing. He's seen it all. He's been a hell and back in that boxing.
We'll do it.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
Yeah, man.
Listen, brother, thanks for coming in.
Anytime, bro. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk soon. Love to see you back.
Be good, champ.
Everybody else, give it a thought. Get back to me. Peace.